What is up, hooligans? And happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. I'm going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we will be checking on all the chats. So let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we'll be getting things started. First, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Jack. Thank you so much for the PayPal. I really appreciate it. Well, I had to go get my damn taxes done today, so at least that's done with. I'm noticing something weird with my numbers here, but either way, we'll try and roll with the punches. No more tax problems. It's nice. It's nice. Well, I got a live pulled up here. It's titled President Trump Visits Walter Reed and Boards Air Force One. I don't really know what all we can expect from that, but Right Side Broadcasting, I almost called it News Nation. Right Side Broadcasting is live right now. I got this pulled up over here. If President Trump comes out to speak to these guys or whatever they're expecting, we'll go ahead and put that on the screen. But other than that, we'll be starting off with a video titled Ohio Family Sues Over Students Let's Go Brandon t-shirt. Then we got a video titled Florida colleges, if I could read, that'd help. Florida colleges partner with ICE for on-campus enforcement, trying to help with this mass deportation. Then we got interesting video titled Bird Crashes Peter Ducey's report saying landed on my head. It's going to get the chicken flu. Then we got a video from yesterday for President Trump titled We're going to put tariffs on pharmaceutical companies to reshore manufacturing. Good stuff. Then we got another video from President Trump from yesterday titled Trump on possible military action against Iran if necessary. And he says absolutely. Then we got a video kind of in the same realm titled U.S. accelerates new nuclear bomb production. I didn't know we really needed to do that, but I guess we did, so we're on it. Then we got a video titled Las Vegas mother finds son hands tied up at Childcare facility. This may or may not piss a bunch of people off. Then we got a video that's titled Accused Trump assassin facing new charges. They're not charging him with trying to assassinate the president, and we kind of knew that was going to happen, but now it's kind of official. They don't really talk about it like that, but that's what it sounds like. Then we got a whistleblower video titled Meta execs lied about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party. Apparently Meta is compliant with the CCP. Then we got an Alina Habba video titled Alina Habba announces investigation into the Democratic governor, a warning. Then the last little bit of the news is Lefties losing it, titled Stolen Valor, Tim Walz booed by veterans. Then, of course, we'll be getting into the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door from the Advent calendar sent to us by Wad. And then we will be opening these packages that were sent to me. I don't know by who yet. I got to put a reminder here, otherwise I'm going to forget. I wrote, open this package. I'm just leaving myself sexy little notes. Then we got our two funny videos of the day. First one's titled, I like your MAGA hat. And then our official funny video of the day is titled, Can't Take Us Anywhere. All of that's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see how you hooligans are doing today. What is up, everyone over on jeffmaclive.com. What's up, Russell? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Damsel? What's up, Josh1776? What's up, Mac Daddy? What's up, Guess MJ? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone over on Rumble? Snooks, you were first today. I appreciate you racing in the chat and everything you do for us, Snooks. What's up, Spicy K? What's up, Brian? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Giggling Spy? What's up, Tori Wayne? What's up, Ghostly? What's up, my neighbor Guy? What's up, Mr. Satan? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Elisa? Appreciate you being here. And what is up, everyone over on Kick? Oh, yeah, hit that like button over on Rumble. Don't forget to do that. Neighbor Guy, you are omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Meta? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone over on Twitch? What's up, Killer J? Neighbor Guy, you are truly omnipresent. What's up, Crazy Times? Happy freedom. What's up, Tony Rich? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone over on the communism platform? What's up, Toy Mafia? What's up, Proud Patriot Girly? Let me see. What's up, South in the North? Happy freedom to you. Neighbor Guy, you are truly omnipresent. What's up, Scott? Happy freedom. What's up, Ero? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Dennis? What's up, Amanda? What's up, Itchy? What's up, Vinny C? Happy freedom. You hooligans are welcome to hit that like button as well. And what is up, everyone over on X? Let's go ahead and get into things. Let's see here. Like I said, I got this live pulled up. they're expecting President Trump, I guess. I don't really know. Right Side Broadcasting might be live all day waiting on President Trump. You never know with the way the White House is running right now. But either way, I got this pulled up. If President Trump appears on the screen, I will put him in front of everybody because he has priority. But until then, we'll be starting off with this first video here titled Ohio Family Sues Over Students' Let's Go Brandon t-shirt. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, we have these Golden Age t-shirts. Now, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his links in all of the chats for you hooligans to have an opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design comes in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, stickers, dog tags, and we've made cooking aprons out of this design. Today I got on the Plain Jane Hooligan t-shirt. We got lots of items and lots of designs over in the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chat while we're watching this first video. You might like it better if you could hear it. Let's give it another shot.
I feel that they're taking something away from me that I should be allowed to wear.
14-year-old Camden Conrad of Mansfield is speaking out after he says he was asked to stop wearing a Let's Go Brandon t-shirt to class, then got punished for ignoring the request.
Frustrated in a way.
That it is frustrating because we want the kids to be able to express themselves.
And now, his father, Richard Conrad Jr., has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit on his son's behalf against the Madison Local School District in Richland County for violating Camden's First Amendment right to free speech. The lawsuit alleges this started back in November when Camden wore the t-shirt underneath a flannel before class, and a teacher made him cover the message, telling him, "I know what that means."
I was more shocked than anything that somebody's actually said something about it and got frustrated over it, only because I've wore the shirt plenty of times.
The suit states that when the teacher saw the shirt again, she issued the boy a pink slip, referring him to the principal for discipline.
I never knew that it would offend somebody that bad.
Then in January, when the boy wore the shirt to school again, the complaint alleged the teacher pulled him aside and asked, "Do you like offending people?" And when the boy wore the shirt again in March, the principal gave him detention.
We were shocked. We were trying to figure out why this particular article of clothing was such an issue. We went through the student handbook quite a few times trying to just make any kind of rhyme or reason.
Now, the district student handbook states that clothing with obscene, violent, or suggestive language or images is considered non-appropriate dress, though it notes the school's principal has the final say on appropriate attire.
Madison Local School District Superintendent Robert Peterson said the district became aware of the lawsuit on Wednesday. He declined to comment on the lawsuit Monday, as it's actively being litigated. Meanwhile, the Conrads are seeking an injunction prohibiting the school from enforcing its dress code against Camden.
It was just a shirt that he liked to wear. He felt comfortable in it. At what point do we take a saying and make it feel like it hurts more than something physical versus just acknowledging it, whether you like it, don't like it, or indifferent with it, and then just kind of move on throughout your day.
In Mansfield, Melissa Reed, Fox 8 News.
Okay, sort of kind of controversial. I don't know, when I was in high school, we couldn't even wear sports attire. We were not allowed to wear anything political. We couldn't, like I said, we couldn't wear sports teams or anything like that. Basically, you couldn't wear anything that could cause controversy, cause an argument or people to be mad at you or whatever. So when I was in school, I mean, I don't know if we could have wore that or not. If they'd have figured out it was like a pro-Trump shirt, probably wouldn't have been able to wear it. But it's in the policy. When I was in high school, that was in the policy. So it was just the way the rules were. It sounds like in that video, he's not really breaking policy. And so maybe they got a chance, but either way. Next up, Florida colleges partner with ICE for on-campus enforcement, trying to help cracking down on this mass deportation. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this Let's Go Brandon t-shirt. Should it be banned or nah? Guess last time I got a pink slip, it didn't fit, so I took it back. Holy. Mac Daddy, this is so stupid. I want a shirt that says real words. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that they really have a whole lot to go with. It'd be different if it was like a vote for Trump shirt or something like that, but let's go Brandon. I don't know. I don't know if the school's going to win it or not. I suppose it depends how liberal the people who handle the case are. What's up, Tony Rez? Happy freedom to you. Go say I got suspended all the time. I just went to school anyways. When they tried to stop me, I told them call my mom. They talked to her and then would let me go. My mom was crazy as fuck, not in a cool or fun way. Yeah, Ghostly. Yeah, I had to go to school all the damn time. It didn't matter what was going on. I remember going to school right after having my damn wisdom teeth pulled. They didn't want to kick me out for anything. I was a bad kid too, but either way, I'm happy I made it through that. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. Shroomish in 8th grade on free dress day, I wore a Pantera shirt that had a skull and Confederate flag on it, and they made me turn it inside out. I had no clue about the Confederate flag at the time. Yeah, Shroomish, I remember being in school and having classmates with their shirts inside out and stuff like that. I remember there being controversial, like, just do it t-shirts, like the Nike slogan, but it was not Nike. It was like satire kind of stuff. Yeah, they never made me turn my shirt inside out. Not me. Ghostly, I didn't. They kicked me out in 11th grade. Well, you know what I've noticed in my adult life is I've never been asked to provide my diploma. Ever. So if you ever get kicked out of school, unless you're trying to go to college, you can really just tell people you graduated. You just pick any school you want to because there's no way to validate it, and they're not going to make you bring in your diploma. So what good is it really? Like I've told you guys before, my grandpa had a 7th grade education. He made more money than anybody I know and had a fantastic life. So, as long as you know to read, write, and do math, you probably got enough schooling. Guess I finally got sent to an alternative school for fighting in my senior year. Sad because I was adorable. Yeah, I guess I actually started my high school career in an alternative school. I was in an adult ed, and I was like, I don't even know, 15 or 16. And then the person closest to me was like 28. And I was like in school with 20 and 30-year-olds, and I was not having a good time. It sounds like that'd be cool. It was not cool. And I don't know, now that I'm older, I couldn't imagine being 20 or 30 years old and bullying like a 15 or 16-year-old. Those people are lowlifes. Tori Wayne, they let girls wear short shorts and revealing clothing but hate this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's because teachers are perverts and stuff. What's up, Biking Cat? Happy freedom to you. I keep seeing Trump on the screen, but it's previously recorded stuff. What's up, J-Dog? Happy freedom. Vinny C, they were chanting fuck Joe Biden and the liberal media flipped it to let's go Brandon. Yeah, sure, it should be acceptable because they're the ones that made it up. What's up, American Patriot? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Joseph? What's up, Cheeky Chops? What's up, Energy Woman? Happy freedom to you. J-Dog, read, write, do math, and have great work ethic. Yep. Like they say, starving is a pretty good motivation. All right, hooligans. We'll go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, Florida colleges partner with ICE for on-campus enforcement.
Some Florida universities.
Hold on a second, lady. I ain't ready yet. All right, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
Some Florida universities are partnering with Immigration and Customs Enforcement through a new program initiated by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The program allows campus police to help with immigration enforcement efforts and potentially speed up deportations. News Nation's Ryan Bass joins us now live from the University of South Florida's downtown St. Petersburg campus. Ryan, which universities are involved, and does the governor's order state they have to participate?
So, Anna, at least 4 public universities here in the state of Florida are either participating or intend to participate with this executive order by Governor Ron DeSantis. By the way, the order doesn't necessarily call out these universities by name, but it does strictly state that state agencies that fall under, police officers, which would include campus police, are expected to fall in line here. So when we're talking about these universities, university police departments are signing up for ICE training. They're getting the same powers to enforce immigration laws as local cops, all through what's called the 287G agreement. Right now, we know that the University of Florida in Gainesville, UCF in Orlando, USF in Tampa, and Florida Atlantic University in Boca are working with ICE or have agreements in the works to do so. But Florida State, Florida International University, and the University of Miami, which is private, they have not yet confirmed to News Nation whether or not they have joined or intend to join the program. Now, meantime, the Florida Highway Patrol also swearing in the nation's first ICE task force officer yesterday. FHP saying that more than 1,400 state troopers have already completed training and will soon be deputized. And Anna, Florida's got a bunch of public universities with their own police forces that are expected to follow suit here. And for those that don't, Governor Ron DeSantis has floated legislation that would basically force their hand in order to do so. Anna?
Wow. So are campus police officers actually going to be the ones making immigration-related arrests?
So basically what this means, at least according to the order from the governor here, is that these police, once they go through the training officially with ICE and get deputized, that they can basically have the power to make these immigration-related arrests. But it's not going to be instant. Again, most of these campus officers have to go through the training, again, get approved for all of that. There haven't been any immigration-related arrests that have specifically happened on campus. We have heard of one reportedly off campus at the University of Florida. But again, I would expect, Anna, that all of these public universities, especially here in Florida, will fall in line with the governor's order.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com.
Good stuff coming out of Florida. Normally when we're covering updates on this mass deportation, it's some judge standing in the way of progress. But in this case, we actually got something going in our favor here. Of course, America voted for the mass deportation. These, what do they call them, activist judges out here have been overruled by the Supreme Court. Now we got schools getting on board with this, which is good stuff. Like we've said before, when we were covering the pro-Hamas protesters on college campuses last school year, there was a lot of professors being involved. They were creating encampments and stuff on whatever they call their front yard. I can't even think what it's called. But either way, they were doing it on school grounds, and no one seemed to have a problem with it. But when they started making arrests, they realized that like 61% of the people being arrested didn't even attend the school. They just showed up for the protest just to hang out and, I don't know, eat riot pizza, I guess. But now we got schools that are getting on board with the cracking down on illegals and all of that stuff. So, and I don't really know if there's those kind of protests going on in Florida. I haven't heard anything like that. But if there was, now the schools are willing to go investigate the situation on top of, you know, allowing officers to come in and try and do their job. Next up, we got kind of a funny video. It's titled "Bird Crashes on Peter Ducey's Report," saying "landed on my head." It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about colleges participating in this mass deportation. Snooks, please give Klaus lots of love from me. So glad he's not Chinese food. Would you like Chinese tonight? That's a good booty. It's good booty. He's a good boy. Guess some bird attack killed me? Yeah, it's good stuff. What's up, Russell? Happy freedom. When I was in school, we could wear anything except for drugs. Hell, I went to school with my blood on my pants from gutting a deer. Yeah, Russell, maybe it depends on where you go to school. I think maybe if you were roughing deer up and stuff, especially nearing open season, because in November, when open season, I don't know if it's everywhere, but here in Michigan, rifle season for deer is in November. And so, or maybe, I don't know. I just know deer season starts in November. Maybe it's not rifle. But no one goes to school. Everybody takes the day off. So if you were to show up, they'd be happy to have you, whether you were covered in deer blood or not. But yeah, as long as you ain't wearing political stuff. Schools are goofy like that. What's up, MU? Happy freedom? Tori Wayne, where's Klaus's blanket? It's on his other tower. This isn't the same tower he was sitting on before I had moved it. This one's a little taller, so I thought it'd be better. But yeah, I gotta get his little blanket. His little blankie. Tony Rez forgot about this guy's haircut. I was waiting to see if you guys were going to say something. It wasn't as crispy as the last time we seen him. Ghostly, y'all hear Tim Pool going full leftist, supporting the the kick that stabbed a student on the track meet. Oh, no. I did not see that. I was actually tagged in a bunch of videos. I think Josh1776 tagged me, but I've been so busy the last 2 days I haven't been able to go watch those videos. But I guess the person, the kid that stabbed the other kid at the track meet, the stabber, apparently is getting a lot of support. He's even making more money on his whatever the charity thing is, where you can donate money to a certain cause. It's not Give, Send, Go. It's another one. But either way, it's something like Give, Send, Go. And apparently the kid who stabbed the other kid is generating more donations than the kid who was stabbed. I don't know. Weird world we live in. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. Tori Wayne, hit that like, you filthy hooligans. I love that. Dino, do you think Eric Swalwell was born with special needs, or was it developed over time? I don't even know who you're talking about, Dino. What's a Publius? Publius? We'll go with Publius. Happy freedom to you. Poor kid can't support his favorite NASCAR driver at school. I think NASCAR was okay, but you couldn't wear like football teams, baseball teams, basketball. You couldn't wear anything like that because people would just start arguing over it in the hallways and in class. What's up, Jeff Reynolds? Happy freedom. What's up, Find It Fix It? Happy freedom to you. Yeah, we'll be getting onto the new Nukes story here in a little bit. I'm doing good, American Patriot. How are you doing? Itchy IRS is soon to be the ERS, the External Revenue Service. It'll be interesting when that happens. Oh, I told you guys I was going to ask my tax guy about no tax on tips when I went to see him. And today was the day I went to see him. And right before we wrapped everything up and I gave him every dollar I own, I remembered, just shockingly remembered, to ask him about that. Like, has he been informed on what the procedure is going to be for no tax on tips? Has he heard anything about it? He's the head of H&R Block for my area, so I figured he'd be the guy to know. And I asked him about it, and he didn't want to give me definitive advice on it because things could change, because it's not something that's real yet. It's just kind of in the air. Nobody knows what this no tax on tips is going to look like. But he said for live streamers like me or anybody who is a content creator, the donations could be considered tips as long as you guys were writing messages like, this is a tip. So like when you make a donation on PayPal, you can write a little note or whatever. Things like that where you are stating that those are tips, those could be considered tips. Anything that goes through Stripe could not be considered tips because it's considered like a wire transaction or something like that. Something about the way it's processed. So apparently the no tax on tips would be specific to how donations are processed and whether or not you could validate that those are tips and not being paid for goods or services. He said that's the biggest deal. He said right now there's already ways to deduct tips from digital transactions, but the hard part is to prove it. You have to prove that those are tips and that you're not selling something. But he said, in my case, because of certain ways I make money and stuff like that, that it actually would hurt me to not report that income as tips. Because it's not deducted or whatever, so it would make my income look like I don't make that much. And he gave me a bunch of other reasons. He said that my specific situation, I wouldn't benefit from writing off my income as tips, but he said in other people's situations they would, and that was it. And he kind of gave me a rough answer because, like I said before, he doesn't know. It's not in effect yet. But I told him that you guys wanted to know, and so I asked him, and that was pretty much the answer he gave me. He said it's kind of situational, but if you were a waitress or something like that and you got cash tips, it'd be very easy to prove that it's tips because you're getting it in cash and stuff like that. But when it comes to digital transactions, it's just whether or not you can prove it, because you could try and write it off as tips. The IRS says that's not good enough. We don't believe you. Now you're being audited, and if they decide that they don't believe those are tips, you're going to have to pay fines and stuff like that. Now, again, this is not financial advice coming from me. This is just a conversation that me and my tax guy had earlier today because I told you guys I would ask, and I did. And maybe that's not a great answer, but that's the answer he gave me. Hair juicer, I could have another $100K a year in my pocket. Yep. Yes, everything I donate is a tip. Thank you for letting me know, guys. I'm going to have to get a screenshot of that just in case the IRS wants to try and tax me on it. Here, Juicer, if they do no tax on overtime, security is going to have to drag me out of here on the daily. Yeah, you're going to be balling. What's up, Alistair? Happy freedom to you. Josh1776, can you create a LLC that accepts the donations and pays you salary? Probably. I've thought about trying to become a non-profit because I don't necessarily get paid for what I do. I make donations and stuff. But my tax guy thinks it wouldn't benefit me to be a non-profit. So I think it's situational. A lot of it's because I live in subsidized housing. If I lived in my own damn house, which is something I want very bad, top of my bucket list there, then things would be different. But because I'm in subsidized housing, I get certain tax breaks, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not the tax guy, so I don't really know. Yeah, I guess I'm a 501c. Yeah, I've thought about it. Thank you so much, Elisa, for that $10 donation over on Rumble. I really appreciate you, Elisa. Thank you so much. It says, this is a tip. Thank you, Elisa. I appreciate the tip. J-Dog, a tip in theory is anything that comes from one individual's wealth and gives it to another. Yeah, the thing is they just don't want me. Say I was selling cheeseburgers, right? And you come and buy cheeseburgers. And then I turn around and tell the government, nah, they didn't buy cheeseburgers from me. They just handed me this money. Well, they want to know, is that true or was I really selling something? And that's kind of a hard thing to prove, is other people's intentions when they hand you money. You know, like, that's kind of difficult to prove, but either way. What's up, Too Old to Care? Happy freedom to you. What's up, 5D? Happy freedom to you. J-Dog, I'm in upstate South Carolina. It's a mini MAGA land, and that's badass. Yeah, J-Dog, GoFundMe. That's what I was talking about. The stabber's making more money on GoFundMe than the kid that was stabbed at the track meet. What's up, Zero? Happy freedom to you. What's up, 10 Man? Happy freedom to you. Russell, I have a tip. Don't ask for tips. I mean, I guess. Alistair, can you set up one account that's a tip jar? Yes, I think Buy Me a Coffee, I can, instead of buying me coffees, I think I can turn it so it says tips. But that's the only one. I don't think there's another way I can do it. And you know what? It's actually kind of ironic because Buy Me a Coffee goes through Stripe. So if you made a donation through Buy Me a Coffee and instead of it being coffees, it was tips, then it'd be good. But then as soon as it goes through the transaction of Stripe, they wouldn't consider it a tip anymore. They would consider it a digital transaction or like a wire transfer or something because of the way that Stripe does its transactions. And I don't really know why. That's just what the tax guy was saying. He said I would have an easier time trying to claim tips on PayPal than I would through Stripe because Stripe looks like an ATM. Where PayPal is just digital transactions. And again, I don't really know specifically what the difference is, but that's what he was saying. Hair juicer, cool. He can be rich in prison. Yeah, exactly. The stabber. That's probably not a good title for him, but I don't know what his name is. So yeah, he's the stabber. Thank you so much, Guess Some, for that $10 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Guess Some. Thank you so much. It says, this is just a tip. Any more would be painful. I appreciate your honesty. Guess Some. Thank you so much. Yeah, Tool the Care got Klaus back in his rightful spot here. He sees something. He's going to have to go investigate. I don't know if we're going to see President Trump or not. It seems like Right Side Broadcasting is just kind of streaming all damn day. It says President Trump visits Walter Reed, boards Air Force One, and more news, but they just keep playing this over and over again from maybe today, or maybe it was yesterday. I'm not really sure. Not sure. Either way, I'll keep it pulled up just in case they decide to put the president on the screen. Biking Cat, if the kid that did the stabbing was being bullied or threatened, then I'm with the kid that did the stabbing. Don't know the kid, so I don't know and don't trust any stories. Yeah, well, the way they presented the story was that both kids were at a track meet event. They had tents up in the stands. The tents were names of schools, and the stabber, again, that's just what we're calling it for right now. The stabber was underneath a tent for a school that he didn't go to. And kids from that school told him he should move because he's not from their school. And I guess they had a little back and forth, and this kid approached him and was like, you should move. You shouldn't sit under our tent. And apparently the stabber, grabbed his backpack, put his hand in his bag, and started making threats, saying like, I wish you would touch me. Stuff like that, like escalating the situation. And apparently the kid telling him to move pushed him or touched him or something. And then the stabber pulled a knife out and stabbed him in the chest and then ran away. And then when he was arrested, he admitted to doing the stabbing and then asked the officer if he thought this could be a self-defense situation, which kind of implies that the kid didn't need to defend himself. He just wanted to spin the story to look like self-defense. But who knows what happened prior to that? Maybe he was being bullied. I don't know. But it just seemed like in the situation that he was asking for it. He was somewhere he shouldn't have been. He was asked to go, don't be in the place you're not supposed to be. He refused to leave. And then he escalated the situation and then stabbed another student and then fled. And so, I don't know. It seems like that's a little bit too much for it to be considered self-defense, but we'll see how it rolls. What's up, Robin Fox? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Larry? Happy freedom to you. Do you hear that dog outside? Screaming his face off. What's up, Rhyme Time? Happy freedom. What's up, Corey Luca? Corey Luca, pour some out for Glenn Beck's dog Uno. Had to put him down today. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. That is like the worst. You have these little guys and they piss you off all the time, and then they kick the bucket, and then you wish they were here to piss you off some more. It's a weird relationship we have with animals. Guess the stabber's name is Carmelo. That's not Carmelo Anthony. Isn't that a basketball player? I don't think that's right. I'm gonna have to look it up. Guess Klaus didn't budge. Dog is no threat. That dog doesn't want any problems with Klaus Daniels. This is a whole-blown hooligan cat here. This is a tactical Klaus. Yes, I should have to have a permit to have this fucker. Either way, let's go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one's kind of a funny video. This is Bird Crashes Peter Ducey's report, him saying he landed on my head. Hold on a second. This FriSite Broadcasting stuff keeps throwing me because they play that old footage. I'm like, oh wait, it's the president. Oh no, it's from some other day. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Once again, this is Bird Crashes Peter Ducey's report saying landed on my head.
Acres.
Well, we already have the Gulf of America.
Right.
So.
Peter, I appreciate it. A bird just landed on my head. What is going on? Was that a bird? What was that about? I did not like that at all. Peter, the back of your hair's standing up now.
I mean, you got good hair, though.
What is going on? That's probably so dirty.
Had to be scary.
It's probably so dirty.
Right. Did he say dirty or scary?
I know. Hey, President Trump, if you're watching upstairs, we got to do something about these birds. Absolutely. Where's the Park Service? The parks, they're always out here sweeping the street and blowing, except when the birds are landing on my head.
Oh my God.
Right.
Hope
it didn't have the flu.
That's right.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Can we get the shampoo guy down here?
Right. Oh my God.
Somebody get some 10X. All right.
Okay, Peter Ducey catching the chicken flu live on TV right there. I don't know if it was trying to mate with him or what. I think we need to ban these assault birds. Let's put 100% tariffs on the birds. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Either way, next up we got President Trump from yesterday titled, "We're going to put tariffs on the pharmaceutical companies to reshore manufacturing." It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Peter Ducey being assaulted by a bird. Mac Daddy, you know it had the bird flu. It did. It was an assassination attempt, but they don't want to talk about it like that. They try to laugh it off like Ryan Routh. Zero, he's horrified, a germaphobe maybe. I know, he's worried about the dirty bird. I'm like, I don't know. Peter Ducey's scared of dirty birds. What's up, Dan? Happy freedom to you. Snooks, getting bullied doesn't entitle you to kill someone? No, I don't think so, but being bullied does suck. I used to get bullied a lot when I was younger. Used to be a grandma's boy with a bowl cut and all kinds of stuff. Man, the world isn't nice to you when you're like that. Zero, Carmelo Anthony. Oh, it's spelled different. One is a basketball player, the other one's the stabber. The stabber's name is Carmelo Anthony. That's crazy. Thank you for letting me know, Zero. And thank you, guys. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. If I could read, it'd be a little better. Thank you so much, Hair Juicer, for that $20 donation over on Rumble. Thank you so much, Hair Juicer. I really appreciate it. Says, this is a tip. Also, poodle. No, don't bring up the poodle. The IRS is going to want to hear the poodle story. I'm like, all right. I don't know if my tax guy could handle that. What's up, AR16? Happy freedom to you. AR16, a bird crapped on my friend's head. He was a shithead ever since. Yeah, it happens. One time, I was in Florida with my family, and I was just a young lad. I think I was 14 or 15 years old. We were at Disney World, or maybe we were at Universal Studios. I can't remember because we went to both in the same week, which is really wild. You know, that was something I was lucky to be able to do. Not everyone can do stuff like that. And so we went and did the thing. And of course, I was spoiling it because for some reason, I just love to spoil a good time. I was like that when I was young. I used to make holidays suck and everything. Not sure why I was like that. But as I'm sitting there with my arms all crossed, wearing my new outfit and stuff, and we're standing in line, bird shit on my head and on my shoulder and wrecked the rest of my day. And my brothers and sisters and my stepdad and my mom would not let it go. The whole day, they were telling me how shitty I was and stuff like that. And I ain't been back to Florida since. Not quite, but I'll never forget that. Holy. What's up, Janet? Happy freedom to you. I got shitted on by a bird in Busch Gardens in Tampa. See, Florida birds, they just like shitting on people. It's a hate crime. That's what it is. It's a hate crime against hooligans. What's up, Rappy? Happy freedom to you. So Pipelines Drifter, happy freedom to you. Happy free bird. Elisa, he got drive-by humped. That's what I think too. I think the bird was trying to mate with Peter Ducey's haircut. MU bird bombs. He had no survival instincts at all. He just, if the bird wanted to get him, he'd have got. That's what would have happened. What's up, my feed? Happy freedom to you. My feed. Self-defense is not caused by words. The victim needs to be a life-threatening situation only. Absolutely. It's just like stand your ground states. You can't just smoke somebody because you stop moving. You have to try to flee first. And if you can't flee because they're cornering you, now you're able to engage with lethal force. And so self-defense is a lot like that. You need to try and make the situation better before you make it worse. And if you can't make it better, well, then whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Thank you so much, Russell, for that $20 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Russell. Thank you so much. Says, here's you a tip. Cheers. Cheers to you, Russell. Thank you. What's up, Metal Mouth? Happy freedom to you. Jan, I was on a school field trip, too. It was sad, and I had a fanny pack on. Yeah, it's rough, Janet. It's times like that that give us character. Alistair, the birds don't like tourists. Yeah, I think you're right. Russell, birds got good aim. They do. Alistair, nah, some birds now has Peter's hair in his nest. It's perfuming her nest now. Yep, styling. Snooks, you had a pretty head. Russell, I had a bird that was a cool motherfucker. Really? I've never seen cool birds. I haven't. Thank you so much, Get Some, for that $20 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Get Some. Thank you so much. It says, this is a tip. Fuck the IRS. Problem, my real name is Hair Juicer. I don't pay taxes. Oh no, now Hair Juicer's gonna get pulled into this. Let me see here. I just seen this. I don't know if we're gonna get to see the president or not, but we'll keep this pulled up while we read through the chat. What's up, Screaming Eagle? Happy Freedom? Screaming Eagle, I know. I was late today. Today's been a hard day. I've been just going since like 7 o'clock this morning. Janet, yeah, bird shit character. I mean, at least we have the experience, so we can laugh, when others get shit on. Like, I have a story to tell. Biking Cat, thanks. I thought they may have had a long history and the adults did nothing. No, Biking Cat, and that very well could have been the situation, because it happens very often where kids are getting bullied and just nobody does anything, and then the kid just crashes out, just acts crazy and does something extreme because he feels like he can't just be himself without getting bullied. And then all of a sudden the parents are all outraged and the teachers want to fix the problem, blah, blah, blah. But they don't ever want to do anything until that explosion happens. And it's, it's shitty. Shouldn't be that way. What's up, Jesse? Happy Freedom to you. Robin, maybe too many damn birds. Yeah, we got to ban those assault birds. Energy Woman, it's a sign of good luck, some say, to have a bird... paradise poop on your head. It didn't feel like good luck. What's up, Christine? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Savage? Looks like a nest anyway. Yeah, Peter Ducey. Styling his hair. The bird thought he'd help him out. Let's go ahead and get into this next video here. I don't know if we're going to see the president or not, so I'll just keep this pulled up and we'll see how it goes. But either way, we got the president from yesterday. This is titled, "We're going to put tariffs on pharmaceutical companies to reshore manufacturing." Let's get this pulled up really quick. You hold on there. All right, now before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out, as we're making Saturdays more fun. Now, like I said, we're going to play this from yesterday. This is President Trump saying we're going to put tariffs on pharmaceutical companies to reshore manufacturing. Hit that like button if you got a like button, and let's get into this.
Mr. President, can we still expect to see the sectoral tariffs, so the pharmaceuticals, steel? Is that something you're still considering moving forward?
Yeah, well, I will be, because we want them coming back. We realized during COVID that we don't make our drugs and our pharmaceuticals in this country. So I realized that, and it was a big realization. We had to go to China to get drugs. We had to go to other places. I won't even mention the names, but we had to go to other places. We don't make it, and that's because we let them leave. And now if they want to come back, we're going to put tariffs on the pharmaceutical companies, and they're going to all want to come back. They're going to come back. I'm not going to pay them any money like Biden with the chip deal. That chip deal was horrible. They give billions and billions of dollars to chip companies. All they have is money. They have so much money. And they give billions of dollars, and they're just going to keep the money. They're not going to spend it. The only thing that's going to bring them back is you say, we have a barrier. You have to pay 50% or 100% or 200%. And if they have to pay that, they're going to say, we're not going to pay that. We're going to build here. And that's what happened. We're the biggest, most prestigious chip company in the world, spending $200 to $300 billion. Think of that, $1 billion to build essentially one massive plant. It'll be one of the largest plants in the world. And we're going to get them very quickly. We're going to get them energy. We're going to get them the electricity they need and the energy that they need. And it'll be approved by Lee Zeldin, a total professional. And it'll be approved very quickly. And they'll get their zoning very quickly. They'll have everything done in a matter of months.
Thank you, sir. You've procured a record amount of private sector investments since your election, $7 trillion. You're You talked about the importance of all that. Can you talk about how these investments will have a positive impact on families who felt like the previous economy left them behind, and why your executive orders on coal yesterday is so important given the amount of manufacturing that you're ushering back in?
Good, thank you. And which is correct. We have, I would say, more than $7 trillion now, right, of investment coming in. Apple is coming in for $500 billion alone. We have other companies coming in with massive numbers. We have car companies that are coming in. No, we've never seen anything like it. Maybe in the 1940s or 50s or something, but we've never seen anything like it. They had 3 plants canceled in Mexico. Not that we want to hurt Mexico, but we're for us, and that's what my job is. It's not to take care of other countries, but I want to help other countries as much as I can. But we have to take care of America first, and it's about America first. So we have many, many companies coming in that would have never come in if we didn't win the election and then put the tariffs on. And they're coming in because when they build in the United States, there are no tariffs. You don't have to pay any tariffs. So instead of paying 30, 40, 50% or 25%, but it could go a lot higher in some of the industries. So we have steel mills right now that are raging. The steel industry was gone. If I didn't put the tariffs on steel, because China was dumping massive amounts of steel in my first term, and I put tariffs on it. I saved the steel industry, but now it's going to thrive, maybe like never before. I mean, if you go back to U.S. Steel from 90 years ago, it was incredible. It was the #1 company in the world for a long time. That's why we don't want to see it go to Japan. And we love Japan, but U.S. Steel was a very special company. We don't want it to go to Japan or any other place. So we're working with them, and I don't know if they need any money now. I'll be honest with you, they hit gold. They hit gold because if you look at it, they have such orders for steel now. It's incredible. What's going on in our country is incredible with respect to plants. So we lost 90,000 plants and factories from the beginning of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made in the history of this world, but certainly in the history of trade. There's never been a worse trade deal. We were able to cancel that. We had to get approval from Congress. It was like a disastrous curse because you had to go to Congress to get it terminated. You couldn't just terminate it because it was a bad deal. And you had people in Congress that didn't want to do it because they had other reasons, maybe bad reasons. They're mostly not there anymore, those people. But
well, either way, that was President Trump. It wasn't from yesterday. It was actually from the day before on the 9th. I didn't realize that until just right now. And I meant to stop the video before the coal talk, but that's okay. Either way, we'll go ahead and get into this next one. And let me see if this is from yesterday. Hold on a second there, lady. Yeah, this, I believe, is from yesterday. A little bit more Trump action here. If I was Trump, that's what I would say for sexy talk. This one is titled, let me figure out where we are here. Trump on possible military action against Iran if necessary, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get right into this, and then we'll be hopping in the chat.
You said the other day that if they do not agree to a potential nuclear deal, that it would be very dangerous for them. What specifically?
Well, they can't have a nuclear weapon.
Did you mean military action, though, if they don't agree?
Oh, if necessary? Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have
a deadline for these talks?
Yeah, I do. You're talking about with Iran?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Do you have something definitive this weekend, or do you see this as the start of a process?
It's a start.
Do you have a timeline?
We have a little time, but we don't have much time.
Who is it starting?
Because we're not going to let them have a nuclear weapon. Can't let them have a nuclear weapon. And we're going to let them thrive. I want them to thrive. I want Iran to be great. The only thing they can't have is a nuclear weapon. They understand that. The people are so incredible in Iran, and they're so smart. They're very smart people, but they're in a rough situation, rough regime. But they understand, and the leaders understand. And I'm not asking for much. I don't. They can't have a nuclear weapon, and I've said that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey,
Well, they cut him a little short, but either way, President Trump talking about Iran. Whether or not they would use military force against Iran. Now, I think they have spoke since then. I believe that video was from yesterday. And I think today Iran was talking about giving it a chance, giving it a genuine chance. So they'll see if they can come to some sort of agreement. President Trump doesn't seem too worried about it. Either they're going to be able to figure out how to get past Iran having nuclear weapons, or we'll be sending the troops over there, which is something hopefully doesn't happen. But either way, like I said, President Trump doesn't seem too worried about it. Here's the Orange Eagle right here live. This is from Right Side Broadcasting. Let's go ahead and put this on the full screen here. I think this is what they were waiting for. Now, I'm assuming with the rain and all of that President Trump's not going to come talk to the press, but you never know. It seems like he's on the phone right now. We'll see how it goes. Either way, we're going to read through the chat. Next up, we have U.S. accelerates new nuclear bomb production. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, and if President Trump walks up to the press, we'll unmute the video and all of that. Hair juicer. My grandma had a bird shit on her right after getting her hair dyed. It stripped the dye, and she had a big splotch of gray, and she was pissed. Jeez, hair juicer. Yeah, see, we got to ban those assault birds. Russell, the Iran people are great, but the government is terrible. Seems like that in a lot of situations. Look at the wind blowing. President Trump's not coming to talk to us. He'd be blowing his hair all over the place. And you know what Blue News would do with that. At least we got a president that can walk upstairs. What's up, Turbo? Happy freedom to you. Meadow Mouth, mid-60s and sunny here in Omaha, Nebraska. That's badass. It's pretty nice here. I'm not sure how warm it is. I think it's in the 40s here, but at least it's sunny out and not snowing today. Okay, well, we got a little bit. Well, I mean, he's on the plane. That's about that. Either way, been waiting 45 minutes for that to happen, but at least we got it. Did the thing. Yay. Either way, reading through the chat, like I said, accelerated nuclear bomb production coming up next. Kung Fu, happy freedom to you. Trump is good at being direct with a cushion. Always a soft verbal landing. I agree. What's up, Poetic? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Cobalt? What's up, Bill Clay? Happy freedom to you. Zero. Walk upstairs in the wind and the rain while holding an umbrella. I know. Biden could never. Meta, I carry a taser. Nice little non-lethal self-defense gadget. I think depending on what state you're in, carrying a taser could carry the same penalty as carrying a gun. They could consider it concealing a weapon. I think it's situational based on the state, but I want to say where I live, if you carry a taser and you don't have a permit for a concealed weapon license, you could be charged with whatever I just said, concealing a dangerous weapon. Now, I don't know. You got to look it up. But there's a lot of people here that are always asking about that stuff. I've had friends and stuff that try to carry mace or rubber bullet guns and stuff like that. But it's all based on what state you're in. Meta, you don't carry it concealed, so you carry it on the outside. That's probably fine. I had a buddy in high school get in trouble because he had an airsoft gun in his car. He got pulled over for having loud speakers. Because in Ludington, if they can hear the bass from your speakers more than 10 feet from your car, you're breaking sound ordinance even in the daytime, which is ridiculous. I don't know if Ludington just needs that money or what. But he got pulled over when we were in high school, and they searched his vehicle. They claimed it smelled like weed. We didn't have legal weed back then, plus he was a minor. And they got him for concealing a weapon because he had an airsoft gun in his back seat. He wasn't using it. He just had it. And they charged him and stuff. He got in all kinds of trouble. Stupid reasons to get in trouble. What's up, Lisa? Happy freedom. What's up, Master Meatball? Happy Freedom to you. Master Meatball, I still say that Biden's stair slippage was a hidden assassination attempt by the U.S. I mean, I don't know. I think that was an ability problem. I don't think the stairs were out to get him, but I might be wrong. What's up, Phillips? Happy Freedom. Proud Patriot Girl. Girly. I keep bear spray in the door of my Jeep. Yeah. The people that work on my car, they're like that. They have bear spray in their car. They got bear spray on one side and they got a pistol AR in the other side. And they're always joking. They're like, you want the one or the other? Because they have big tow trucks, so they can tow like buses and other semis and stuff like that. And for some reason, the situations they get in, there's a lot of instances where people want to cause problems, I guess. And so there's been a couple times where they've had to use the bear mace, and there's only been one incident where they had to pull out the pistol AR. They didn't have to use it, but they pulled him out, held the guy at gunpoint, and then called the police and had him picked up. The guy had a gun on him, or he had a knife on, I don't know. He had some weapon on him, so it was justified. But yeah, bear mace will make him cry hard. What's up, Teasel? Happy Freedom. What's up, Shauna Vision? What's up, Wayward? Happy Freedom. Wayward, I have a knife. It's on my gun. Yeah, it's good stuff. Holy. Hair juicer tasers are considered firearms because they use explosives to launch a projectile. See, I didn't realize that, but I knew that you could be in trouble in certain states depending on how you carry them. Alistair, same here. They take sound ordinance seriously. Got 2 neighbors that tried to break it, but all the other neighbors, including me, called the cops on them at the drop of a hat. Yeah. Well, it's nothing like trying to be alive in your own house and you got the furniture and the dishes banging around because somebody wants to play their music too loud. That's too much. It's too much. Metal Mouth, how does someone fall up the stairs and trip on air? You know, Metal Mouth, I'm not really the guy to ask because I have this weird habit where if I'm walking, and I've done this my whole life, and I don't know why, it's like a glitch in my brain. If I'm walking and I see the step, like the sidewalk is uneven, like there's a broken piece of sidewalk, and it's lifted up, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, don't trip on the broken sidewalk. I will actually trip before I get to it. I don't know why. Like, it's only when I perceive it. If I'm walking, I'm not paying attention, I'm fine. But if I see something that could be a hazard, I will trip before I get to it. And I've done it so many times. I think it's God laughing at me. That's what I think it is. Because me and God, we have a interesting relationship. It's so much humor in my relationship with God. And I really think that's a part of it because it happens so damn often. I'm like, okay, don't trip. And then I trip on nothing. I'm like, okay, I should, if I was going to trip, I should at least did it justifiably instead of just falling on air. So, yeah, probably not the right guy to ask about that. Well, let's go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, U.S. accelerates new nuclear bomb production. Figure we'll play this right after that Iran video. Go ahead and hit the like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
A new nuclear weapon is being quickly developed for the United States military. The bomb that can be dropped from planes is 7 months ahead of schedule. Defense officials say it's an urgent need to deter threats and modernize the military's nuclear arsenal. Our Nick Smith joins us now. Nick, what more can you tell us about this new weapon and the need for it?
The weapon is necessary because we are in an arms race of sort. The U.S. accelerating production of its latest nuclear weapon, the B-6113 gravity bomb. It's a move driven by escalating global tensions with major powers like Russia and China. They are the terrifying weapons that can wipe out life on Earth, and they're only getting stronger.
What everybody understands around the world is strength.
This is the B-6113, a gravity nuclear bomb with an explosive force 24 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. While devastating, Russia's RS-28 Sarmat missile carries warheads twice as destructive, and China's DF-41 missile can target multiple locations simultaneously.
They're working on the next generation.
That's why Sandia National Laboratories is collaborating closely with the Air Force and other agencies, cutting production time by over 25%, 7 months ahead of schedule.
And we have to go faster, work harder, and get better.
Something our government says is a top priority.
The People's Republic of China are building 6 combatants per year. They're actively building aircraft carriers, and they're getting better, and they're building at a high rate.
Unlike Russian and Chinese missile-based warheads capable of striking multiple targets simultaneously, the B-6113 is aircraft delivered, first from the stealthy B-2 bomber, and later on the B-21 Raider, expected by 2030. Officials stress the B-6113 replaces older models without increasing total U.S. nuclear weapon numbers, but it represents a critical upgrade at an increasingly dangerous time.
We now find ourselves in nothing short of a new nuclear age. An unprecedented mix of multiple revisionist nuclear challengers who are uninterested in arms control or risk reduction efforts, each rapidly modernizing and expanding their nuclear arsenals, and openly threatening to employ nuclear weapons to achieve their aims.
And the reason this is so important, this move aligns with America's nuclear posture review, highlighting continued U.S. commitment to deterrence amid evolving global threats. Anna, this is a situation where the military has made it a commitment to make sure that we are not behind.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com.
Well, that's interesting. We got a new fighter jet, and then we also got new nuclear weapons. I don't really understand nuclear weapons because it seems like participation in a pissing competition. You never really hear of anyone's military using nuclear weapons really in any fashion because it's so detrimental to our environment. But we still build them. And we don't do anything with them. And so we can just flex on other countries like, don't make us press the button. Like, that's what it is. It's like a huge pissing competition between countries having these weapons that we don't even use because the fallout's too bad. It's the consequences are too rough. I remember when I was dating that Canadian girl, we were having a conversation about Germany and how their like black mark on their record, like their dark smudge or whatever, is obviously the Holocaust and stuff like that. You know what Hitler did. And she started pointing fingers at me and was like, "What about you?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "The U.S. has dark secrets and stuff." And I thought she was talking about like the Manhattan Project and stuff where the government did bad things to Americans. And I was like, "Oh, this, that, and the other." And she's like, "No, you guys dropped a nuclear bomb in Hiroshima." And I was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "For the rest of the world, that's your guys' Holocaust." And I was like, "Oh, we don't talk about it like that over here." Like, I didn't realize, but apparently that's how it goes. That's our dark smudge on our record, is when we dropped that atomic bomb, which obviously it was a terrible thing that happened, right? It's not cool if people would die and stuff like that, mass destruction, even though explosions are cool. That was not something good that happened. So again, I don't know. I think nuclear weapons are kind of a goofy thing because, yeah, we could have them just in case somebody else has got them, but nobody really wants to use them because it's just bad for everybody. And so it's I don't know. It's like we're buffing up our reasons to make threats because we're not going to actually use them unless we're ready to just nuke the, because once one country presses a button on another, everybody's going to be pressing buttons on each other. That'll be the end, and that's why a lot of people worry about World War III, because there ain't going to be no fighting. And it's going to be a war of button pushing, and that's going to be it. And then we're going to microwave the whole country, so nobody wants to do that. Next up, Las Vegas mother finds son's hands tied up at Childcare facility. Like I said earlier, this is either going to piss some people off or it's not. There's like I don't want to say controversial, but there's this like unbalance in the story where they kind of depict it like this child was bound. They had their hands tied behind their back. But then there's these excuses saying, no, he wasn't bound. He went and did that stuff to himself. So we'll see. We'll see how you guys feel about that video. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you Hooligans think about the new nuclear bomb production. Here, Juicer, multiple independent re-entry vehicles. they can drop like 20 nukes at once from one missile. That's crazy, hair juicer. Snooks. I have several like buttons. Very nice, Snooks. Holy. Zero. Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Last time used. World was horrified. Yeah. Yep. Russell, that dude polishes his forehead. You know, there's actually people that do that. People who are going bald, and so they make like product to put on your head. I don't know what it does. I don't know if it keeps you moisturized. I don't know. I mean, I look like somebody that would need that shit, but I don't. So I don't know, but they do make product for it. Guess I'm that head? He's an alien. He's one of those lizard people. Guess I'm me. Totally me after Taco Bell. Yep. Huge radioactive fallout. They're like, what's the smell? You're like, hurry, run for the bunker. Tuck your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Zero, I love that Jeff tells God dirty jokes. Well, you know, and I think about it all the time. You always hear about people praying when they got problems. I've said this before. You wouldn't want to have a relationship with somebody that only calls you up every time they got problems. Sometimes you want to hear some good news. You want to hear a funny joke. You want to hear a funny story about something that happened to them yesterday at Walmart. You know, you don't want to just hear somebody's problems all the time. And that's how I feel about God. Like everybody, growing up, it seems like everybody only calls on God when they got problems. Oh God, this terrible thing's happening. Please help me figure it out or help do stuff for me. And that's it. That's the only time they talk to God. But I'm just like, hey God, I heard something funny today. Let me tell you really quick. He's a big boy. He can handle it. There isn't anything that happened in the world that God doesn't know about. So I always think usually I'm driving and I'll see something funny or something funny just happened and I'll just tell God real quick, because why not? Why not? Why only talk to God when you got problems? That's not a real relationship. Josh 1776 is the helicopter crash on the news today. It was, but I didn't add it to the schedule. And then later on, I realized that there was so many social media posts about it. So I probably should have put it on the schedule. I didn't realize that it was a big deal until I had already had the schedule together. Maybe we'll add it on tomorrow. But there's a lot of different points of view of the helicopter falling into the river or lake or whatever that is. Yes, I've thanked God every night but 3 for over 40 years. Passed out those 3 nights. Yeah, I guess Cobalt. I call on God unironically when I have to poop, like super big. That's like also like when you drink too much and you're like, please God, just fix me and I'll never drink again. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say that or I've been in that situation. I don't drink like that anymore, but when I was young, I was with somebody that was a full-blown alcoholic. And so it was weird because it seemed like it was just a fun party all the time until they're like blacked out throwing up and like just gone, like pretty much black behind the eyes. Like, I don't know. I was in a bad situation. I didn't know it because I was young and I was stupid. And the girl I was with was 8 years older than me. I was kind of being taken advantage of. Didn't realize it at the time. But I remember being, like, hungover every single day. Even when I was delivering pizza, I'd, like, pull up to the stop sign and whip the door open and throw up on the ground and then close the door and pull up to your house and ring the doorbell. Seeing double and stuff. I'm all gray-skinned. Yeah, I don't miss that stuff. Kung Fu. I've prayed to the toilet a few tequila nights. Yeah, exactly. Cobalt, really the worst thing you have to worry about is iodine? You talking about with the nuclear stuff? I'm not really sure how all of that works, how the iodine works, because I know radioactive fallout is like a dust. I always think of it like a gas, but I guess it's a dust. And so if you can cover your flesh and your airways, even if that dust gets on you, as long as you can leave it behind, like go into some place that's sanitary and all of that, and you leave your suit behind or whatever, you might be okay. But I don't really know how iodine affects any of that. I just remember there was when there was a lot of worry about World War III when it started in the Biden years. There was a lot of people talking about iodine and selling iodine tablets. There was large government purchases of iodine tablets and stuff like that, but I never really knew what that did. Screaming Eagle, if we have a nuclear war, just imagine how the leftards would complain about climate change. Yeah. They worry about climate change, but they don't worry about pollution. Kung Fu, you use iodine to fill up your glands so less radiation absorbs. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know. MU, I like to tell God thank you every night. Yep, it's awesome. Metal Mouth, Klaus is a furry puddle. He is. That's a whole pile of Klaus there. Hair juice or iodine keeps nuclear particles from depositing in your thyroid. Oh, I see. Yeah, I might have to get some of them. You never know. You never know. Meta, just wait for the EMP. Then the ultimate taser follows. Yeah. Yep. We were really worried about that stuff during the lockdowns. Worried about EMPs and stuff like that. What's up, Guess Who? Happy Freedom. Guess Who? Since we have tariffs on China, where's Taco Bell getting its mystery meat from? North Korea? The Taliban? It's hard to say. You never know. I think it's ex-Taco Bell employees. Comes from corporate. What's up, Smithy? Happy Freedom. What's up, Amanda? Happy Freedom. What's up, Godzilla? Happy Freedom to you. Proud Patriot Girly, did you watch The Party in My Stomach? I missed a few shows. I did watch it. I didn't play it on the live, but I did watch it. It's a pretty interesting video. It's pretty humorous. What's up, Carp? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Lone Wolf? Lone Wolf, one button, one war, no one left. Yeah. That's why we don't want those problems. What's up, Wobbly Sausage? Happy Freedom to you. Yeah, the button war, like nuclear war, it's the equivalence of someone flipping the Monopoly board. Like once one country presses the button, everybody else is going to press the button. What's up, everything? Happy Freedom to you. Everything I bought my parents' bear mace to use? Hell yeah. Wayward, I did not. Are you sure it's illegal? I thought having bayonets is illegal. No, no, I don't think it's illegal. I don't know. It might be. It's only if you get caught. Shit. Zero. Yeah, Wobbly Sausage has been around for a while. I ain't seen him in a little while, but yeah, them. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, and I'm always misgendering you hooligans. It's intentional. You take that. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, Las Vegas mother finds son's hands tied up at childcare facility. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you'd like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up.
This is...
All right, like I said, Las Vegas mother finds son's hands tied up at childcare facility. Hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
This is not how Kayla Hall expected to find her 9-year-old son Cody at daycare.
My brain, I couldn't even process what I was looking at.
This was March 20th when she went to pick him up from Cherished Legacy Academy.
I just literally was like, oh, maybe he just wrapped himself in the blanket. But then I reached down to unravel him. And then that's when I realized no, this is not a normal wrap. I couldn't pull it apart.
She says there were 2 employees in the room.
So I'm like, why is my son wrapped up like this? Why is he tied up? Nobody's answering me.
She tells us Cody is on the autism spectrum. He is verbal, but in this case, he didn't say what happened.
Well, first he just says, Mommy, I'm sorry, I'll be a good boy. But when I ask him, who did that? Or when anyone asks him, he's like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Which is odd.
She says she took Cody to the emergency room. Staff there contacted Las Vegas Metro Police. We obtained this report. An officer writes how it did not appear Cody could do this to himself. A worker says the kids were playing cops and robbers, and the other kids tied Cody up, which the officer believes was also not possible. And it appeared the way Cody was bound was done by someone with the ability to hold his hands behind him and tie the towel tight. The conclusion, a report taken for child abuse neglect. While the department tells the 8 News Now investigators this is an open investigation, Kayla says a detective told her he viewed video.
Cody was playing with the blanket for 40 minutes, wrapping it around his neck and the staff was in the room. Supposedly nobody was watching my son wrap this blanket around his neck. And then he goes in the corner and he kind of lays down, then there's no movement, but they can't see how he got in that position.
Kayla wants to view the video herself. She says staff isn't returning her calls, so we reached out. A woman who says she's upper management claims Kayla did see the video, nothing happened, and this is a non-story. But even if Cody somehow could tie his hands up like that, why didn't staff here free his hands to make sure he was safe?
I really feel like he could have died in that position. It was so tight around his stomach.
What do you want to happen?
Honestly, well, I wanted the women to be fired. I wanted them to be fired because at the end of the day, it's still no excuse because you were watching a child. My son, if I didn't get to him in that timely manner, I really feel like he would have lost circulation, the blood flow. I feel like he could have passed out. I want them fired.
Is that enough?
No, it's really not. And I want the daycare shut down.
Right now, the business has a temporary license. This report from an investigation closed last October reveals 10 violations for problems like a lack of supervision, teachers heard yelling at children inappropriately, inadequate amount of toys and supplies, no vegetables, fruits, or milk served at lunch, and a janitor in the building who wasn't fingerprinted. Another investigation closed last November reveals 8 violations for problems including ratios, meaning too many kids without enough staff. In one instance, 29 kids of various ages with 1 worker. An investigator witnessed a child biting other children, staff unaware until inspectors for the state told them. Now, the state is also investigating how this happened to Cody.
Very upsetting because there's just no excuse for it. None.
Okay, like I said, they try to play it off like, oh, nah, he just did that to himself. That was just him. But it doesn't seem so. I mean, the kid's on spectrum. He's at a child care facility. Even if he did do it to himself, he shouldn't have been able to. You know, it's like if they found a pair of scissors and stabbed himself in the chest. Yeah, he might have did it to himself, But if he's at a child care facility, especially for special needs and stuff, they're supposed to prevent that kind of stuff from happening. So whether he did it to himself or not, it was still wrong on the side of the child care facility. Now, it doesn't seem like he did it to himself, because when his mom found out, his reply was that he was sorry and that he was going to be good, as if this was a punishment or that he was going to be punished for it, which seems kind of like a weird reply. If it was something you just did to yourself, you're just bored and you're screwing around, why would you apologize for it? So that doesn't really make sense. It sounds like they did that to him, as well as being ignorant to other things going on around the facility. They don't seem qualified to run that kind of facility, so they either need to replace their staff or just shut the whole place down, or both. But either way, I don't think the kid did it to himself. Next up, accused Trump assassin facing new charges. And they're not assassination charges, because it really seems like the Fed boys are trying to give Ryan Routh lesser charges than he deserves. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this child care facility and the way that little boy was treated. Guess so what if he did it to himself and used the neck? Place needs to be shut down. Absolutely. Hair juicer Billy tied himself up at school. What do we do? Well, we definitely shouldn't spank him. Yeah. Mac Daddy, shut it down. Yep, Zero. Wow, shut it down. And who knows what other kids have experienced, especially if they're nonverbal. It's a scary situation. If you have a child that's special needs and they're nonverbal and you send them to a child care facility, they come back with marks and bruises. They can't exactly tell you what happened to them. You go up to the facility and they tell you, oh, we don't know. Or, oh, he did it to himself. Like, that's a real rough situation there. Russell, yeah, the daycare is done. Yeah, I think so too. Snooks, I'd be going to jail happily and whistling. He couldn't have tied his hands like that. Bitches would be going down. Yep. Russell, okay, you really can't tie your hands behind your back like that. Yeah. I don't think he did it to himself. I just don't. What's up, Who Through? Happy freedom to you. And thank you so much for the $20 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Who Through. Thank you so much. Says, got a promotion at work, so take some of my money. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Who Through, and congratulations on your new promotion. You're a badass. Screaming Eagle, that dude, Ryan Routh, was trying to buy a RPG, Fed boy. Yeah, I think so too. I think he's somehow government contracted, one way or another. Either he knows what's going on or he's being played by somebody that knows what's going on. But the things he was asking for, military grade weapons and stuff, no regular person would be asking for that stuff. Kung Fu, they punished him and she caught them. That's what I think too. The real problem is autism is skyrocketing. I can't tell if autism is skyrocketing or if it's an overdiagnosis. Because it seems like everybody's being diagnosed with one thing or another. And the whole goal is to get the whole world hooked on pharmaceuticals and stuff because it's big bucks. None of these pills fix anybody's problems. They only treat the symptoms. They don't cure anything. And so I don't know if autism is actually on the rise. And if it is, what's causing it? What is causing it? A lot of people think it's vaccines and stuff like that. There's a lot of different explanations. But it's one or the other. Either it's being overdiagnosed. And like when we look at liberals, right? They got the furry ears on. They got 12 colors in their hair, and they're severely obese. They're missing all their teeth because they do fentanyl on the weekends. And they're like, oh, I'm like this because I'm on the spectrum. Like, no, you're like that because you make bad choices. Like, what are you talking about? And so some people, I think, are being misdiagnosed, and they're using it as an excuse to walk around and be entitled and to tell people, hey, I deserve special treatment for these reasons. I think that's the case in a lot of situations, modern times right now. And then also, if there is an increase in legitimate diagnosis of autism and stuff. What is causing it? You know, is it our food? Is it parents doing drugs and alcohol? Like, what is causing it? And we need to figure out how to fix it, so you know we can lower those numbers. Conspiracy Queen, happy freedom. Conspiracy Queen, overdiagnosis to normalize the symptoms of a broken world. Yeah, I think so too. Shroomish, Ryan Routh is probably working for the CIA as a patsy. He was over in the Ukraine too, a CIA stronghold. Yeah, he was trying to recruit for the Ukraine supposedly, but that's what I think too. I don't think he's like some secret agent or something. I think he's being used. He's like a useful idiot right now. Tony Rez, damn Jeff, it was a beautiful day and I'm filled with absolute rage. Yeah, I know. I was telling you guys, I tried to give you guys warning. It was a spicy video there. Hair Juice, are you going to tell us during voice chat? Tony Rez, they stopped paddling kids in class and autism seemed to have skyrocketed. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I really think that it has to do with misdiagnosis. They're overdiagnosing people. What's up, Viola? Happy freedom. Meta, Trump had his physical today. Yep. I didn't hear the outcome of that, but I heard that it was going to be happening today. Master Meatball, WW4 will be fought with rocks and sticks. Yeah, if there's any survivors. Guess who? Let's put body cams on these kids so if daycare workers mess, then they can get busted. Same with teachers. Yeah. Well, they should have surveillance cameras in all these rooms and hallways and stuff in case this stuff happens. The problem with putting body cam on children and stuff is that they're going to go into the bathroom with that body cam on. And that breaks the law. You can't bring cameras into the bathrooms. And that's the only problem with it, is that they're not responsible enough to know to turn their camera off or whatever. I've even done it on accident when we were in the lockdowns. I had a body camera on myself all the time because people didn't know how to treat each other. Everybody thought they were the authority of the lockdowns. People wanted you to be 6 feet apart and follow the stupid arrows on the floor and wear 13 masks and show your fucking vaccine card and all this stupid shit. And so I had a body camera on, so when people would talk crazy to me, I would just grab the camera and they'd see that little blinking red light, and then all of a sudden they remembered how to treat people. And so I was walking around with that thing all the time, but sometimes I'd be walking like into the Walmart bathroom and like, oh yeah, shit, and I'd have to rip it off my chest, throw it in my pocket really quick. Stupid. We shouldn't have to do this stuff. Children shouldn't be exposed to, that kind of treatment. What's up, Magic? Happy freedom. Ever see the movie Tommy? No, never seen it. Never heard of it. Tommy Knockers. Guess some flamethrowers are 100% legal. Are they? Hair Juicer, I'll remind you. Zero should have cameras in daycare places. Parents should have access at any time. Yeah, I agree. Guess you cracked me up. Tony Rez, remember the worst part of getting a paddling was going back into the classroom, trying to hold back them tears. I never got paddled at school. Lots of fistfights though. Cobalt, you're my age, right? 30? Yeah, I just turned 36 in March. I can't believe that. I can't believe I just turned 36. Some skulls. Happy freedom to you. All right, hooligans, let's get into this next one. Like I said, accused Trump assassin facing new charges. The accused Trump assassin. Like it's some it's some conspiracy theory made up by MAGA. They just claim that he was in the bushes with a rifle. Like, it's these people. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube. And let's get this rolling.
We're going to shift to this Fox News alert. Some big news here. The state of Florida is charging failed Trump assassin suspect Ryan Routh with attempted first-degree murder and terrorism.
Dana Marie McNichol is live in Miami with the latest for us. Hey, Dana Marie.
Hey, Ainsley, good morning. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier says these charges of attempted murder and terrorism are a long time coming. He tells Fox News that Florida's investigation into Ryan Routh was delayed more than 200 days because of what he described as stonewalling by the Biden administration. Now, Uthmeier says that Florida law enforcement, they had trouble even accessing the crime scene, and the Attorney General's office was met with major roadblocks in trying to prosecute this case. Here's what he told us.
We want a justice system that is willing to pursue justice no matter what party is in charge. And Joe Biden and the Democrats did everything they could to drag their feet and refuse to cooperate with the state of Florida. Under Attorney General Bondi and the Trump administration and our new FBI director, it's been a breath of fresh air, very different. They've been transparent, cooperative.
And Uthmeier says this will be a collaborative investigation. The federal government, he says, has made their evidentiary folder available to his office, and they plan to do the same. He also mentioned that more evidence about the case will become public very shortly. Now, Routh is already facing a state charge for attempted felony murder related to a traffic accident that injured a 6-year-old little girl after he fled the scene at Trump International Golf Club. Now, Uthmeier also confirmed that case is still ongoing. And back out here live, guys, this federal case, the federal charges that Ryan Routh are facing will take precedent. So, of course, they will have to wait until that trial is over, scheduled to start in September, until the state of Florida can proceed with their trial.
All right, Dan Marie, thank you very much. And you know, it was...
Well, we'll see how it goes. They said in September he's supposed to go to court. We'll see how they treat him, because it's weird the way they talk about him, the way they talk about his charges. He's just a weird person in general. Like we've covered before, he had a voicemail for people calling in as if he was a recruiter for the Ukraine. He also had a letter or something that came out right after he was arrested where he was offering big bucks to anybody to finish the job and terrible things like that. Requesting military-grade weapons and, I mean, all kinds of just crazy stuff that normal criminals usually aren't involved in, which is what makes it seem like he's some sort of a CIA asset or something alternative to what the mainstream is trying to spin. But the thing is that Florida wanted to go after him big time, but the Fed boys picked him up. And the Fed boys were like, no, this is our jurisdiction, whatever. So Florida had to hand it off to the Fed boys. But the Fed boys want to act like he wasn't there to assassinate anybody, that he was just suntanning on the golf course with his rifle. Like they want to downplay what was happening. Now, Florida wants to get him for an assassination attempt, but the Feds don't. Like they're getting him for felony murder or something, whatever they just said, trying to make the crime serious, but not as serious as it should be. So when he goes to court in September, we'll see how they treat him. When he gets in front of liberal judges and stuff, they might just let him off the hook. You don't even know. You know, they might just give him his bond money back and say he's innocent. So we'll know more in September. I assume we'll continue to have follow-ups on Ryan Routh as he's got these changes going on. Next up, we got whistleblower. Meta executives lie about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party. This individual worked for Meta in a high-ranking position for like 7 years, I think they say. And they talk about how they do favors for the CCP. They will censor people. They will change their algorithms and stuff. This whole next video is basically based around censorship and silencing Americans and pretty much anybody in general. It sounds like Meta likes to please the CCP. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Ryan Routh. Guess he confuses SKS with a 7-iron. Yeah, that's kind of what the Fed boys are saying. Here, Juicer, I always bring a 7.62 by 39 when I camp at the country club. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Here, Juicer, looks like Ellen. He does. He does look like he's related to Ellen DeGenerate or whatever her name is. She's a degenerate. Josh 1776. I'm rocking this graham cracker one. This is like one of my new favorites right here. I also got pumpkin pie, and I think this is apple crisp. I ruined the label. I got so many miles on it from flipping it. This has got the most miles on it. It doesn't even rattle anymore. It did a couple months ago. I think it's almost 2 years flipping this chapstick. I need to get one of those walkometers so I could see how many times I flip it a day. That's what she said. Here, Juice, you poor deprived child. You got to watch Tommy. It's a rock opera by The Who and lots of other huge artists from the 60s. I will have to check it out here, Juicer. Let me pull up a tab so I can remember. Well, thank you, Snooks. I appreciate the compliment. Snooks, I think he needs to go to trial now. Let's get to it. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, when he goes to court in September, we'll know pretty quickly how he's going to be treated or what we can expect from the trial. Just like when President Trump was being summoned to court. The first appearance in court, judge is smiling, looks like a troll. Find out his wife has got anti-Trump shit all over her X page. It sounds explicit when I say it like that. Twitter posts are anti-Trump. And it's like very quickly, as soon as they arrive in court, we could tell how this is going to go. It's either going to be justice or it's going to be bullshit. And we'll know in September. I'll add it to my wish list. I need to put advent calendars on there too, because we only got like 2 or 3 days left of this advent calendar. I'm going to miss that part of the show. Metal Mouth, Tina Turner, Eric Clapton, and a bunch of others were in Tommy the Rock Opera. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to add it to the wish list. Tony Rez, I don't like musicals, but Tommy is a good one for sure. You guys are talking me into it. Metal Mouth, Ryan Routh needs to spend the rest of his miserable life deep underground in a federal penitentiary. He might. Well, like I said, we won't know till September. Metal Mouth Klaus is on his parameter check. Yeah. He's got to make sure everything's all good. Metal Mouth, I'm 50 and some mornings I feel twice my age. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm an old man, but I think it's from growing up with my great-grandparents. When I was little and I was staying with my grandma in the wintertime and with my grandpa in the summertime because they were divorced, they were like in their 60s when I was a little kid. They were like, we weren't going to play catch. We weren't going and doing real activity. They were 60 years old. So it was like they'd take me to go do things, but they were always old and tired and hurting and understandable things, And when I became an adult, I was like sympathizing with that. We'd be sitting in the living room, hanging out, eating dinner, eating breakfast, whatever, and have these kind of conversations. And like I've told you guys before, my grandpa used to tell me all the time that he'd have dreams of like riding a bike. And in his dream, he's like 20 years old and he wakes up and he's in this 85-year-old body. And he can't hardly walk down the street. And it's depressing because when he's dreaming, he's young. And when he wakes up, he's old. And it's hard. It makes life even harder because not only is your body deteriorating, but your mind is feeling sad about the whole situation. And so I used to have these serious conversations with my great-grandparents all the time because they raised me and, I was around for them to have these conversations and whatnot. And so now that they're gone and I'm doing all this stuff on my own, as I should, I'm a responsible adult, I feel like an old man and I'm like just growing into my age. I feel 80 years old inside. I'm just 36 on the outside. Shroomish, just wait till you hit closer to 40. It sucks. See, I used to tell the young little 20-year-olds at the factory about that. The little 20-year-olds would be around and they'd be dragging ass. I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, oh, I was drinking last night. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't do that. You're going to regret that when you get older. And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And we'd get to the end of the shift and they're like, oh, my back hurts and my arms hurt. And can you cover my shift? And, can I go early? And I'm like, wait till you hit 30. You go from 29 to 30, it's like a 5-year period for some reason. You hit 30 years old and you just all of a sudden you're really old. You got knee pain and a knee you ain't never had an injury in. Like just stupid stuff like that. And there's been a couple times where these little workers would hit 30 and then they'd be like, they'd come back and find me and you were right. You were right. This year I had to go get surgery on my back or on my knee or on my hip or on whatever because now I'm really feeling it now. You were right. Yeah, something about converting into 30s hurts. And I guess 40s is the same from what I've been told. So Nukes, you were born with an old soul. It's okay. I guess. Alistair, damn, we have golf ball sized hail here. Holy, Alistair, I hope the cars are safe. Hopefully you guys aren't getting a tornado. And maybe that's just a weird idea. But like I told you guys before, right, I was dating this Canadian girl. And they would get hail in the summertime. She'd be like, oh no, it's hailing. I'm like, what do you mean? Isn't it like 70 degrees? She doesn't know what that means because they have Celsius over there. But she'd be like, we're going to have a tornado. And I'm like, what? And then she's like, yep, there goes the alarms. I'm like, what? And they would have tornadoes. So if they saw hail and it wasn't the middle of winter, chances are they were going to have a tornado. And I don't know why, but now I always think that when people say we got hail, I'm like, oh shit. It's one of two things. You're either doing the Elon salute or you're about to have a tornado. Hopefully not a tornado. Don't be doing the Elon salute. Hopefully you're staying safe, Alistair. Heard you say I found a good calendar for you. Here, just if you want to pick it up, you can pick it up. But otherwise, send me the link and I'll put it on the wish list. Alistair, 48. You're 48? I would never thought that. I figured you were in your 30s. Gonna be 49 in August. The age hasn't hit me yet. I can still do everything I've always been able to do, just waiting for the age to hit. Well, Alistair, they say you're only as old as you feel. So if you don't feel that old, you might be 90 years old and running and riding bikes and slam dunking on 20-year-olds and teabagging them afterwards and all that stuff. So don't worry about it, Alistair. We're all running our own race. Russell, I had to walk to school in 10 feet of snow uphill both ways. Yeah, Russell, that's what I sound like all the time. Alistair, when my grandfather was dying from pulmonary fibrosis, he said to me something I'll never forget. He said, I look in the mirror and there's an old guy looking back at me. The rest of the day I forget I'm old. Yeah, Alistair, I believe it. I've put on like 15 pounds or maybe even 20 pounds in the last 6 weeks. And I don't even know why. And I mean, I don't think I have a thyroid issue, but something is happening. And I don't know what it is. I mean, 36 didn't hit me that hard, did it? But something is happening. And even just gaining that little bit of weight, when I look in the mirror, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I look so different than how I look in my mind. Russell, I'm 48 in June. I feel like I'm 80. Yeah, Russell, we're a couple 80-year-olds. We're just growing into it. What's up, Enter User? Happy Freedom. Air 16. Damn, guys, I'm over 60. I know, we sound like a... We're over here gossiping about being old in our 30s. Air 16 is just rolling his eyes at us. Metamouth hail usually precedes a tornado. Yeah. I don't know how that works, but I've seen it. Cobalt, do you make a sound when you get out of the car? Yeah, but do you make a sound when you tie your shoes? I make a sound when I turn. I'm like driving, I'm like, just trying to turn in the Subaru. I'm a big guy in a little car. I don't know. It's part of getting old. I say that about everything, though. You're like, something in my eyelashes. I'm like, yeah, this is just part of getting old. Cobalt, I'm 5'10", 239 pounds. I was taller and skinnier 10 years ago, about 150. Yeah, Cobalt, that's how I was. I was like 170 pounds almost my whole life, and then now I'm in 230s. Oh, yeah? Well, come on. Yeah? Okay. You gonna say hi? Look how tall Klaus is. Tall enough to reach up on the counter, steal your cookies. High Plains Drifter, I feel like a 20-year-old. If only I could just get my hands on one. I don't know, High Plains Drifter. The 20-year-olds are all radicalized at this point. Metal Mouth, I make noises getting out of bed. Yep. Getting into bed, getting out of bed, trying to sleep. Meta, you keep me young, Jeff. I try, Meta. Meta, I look down and see my mother's hands. Yeah, it's weird how we like stay the same mentally, but the outside of us changes. I guess that's the soul in us. Master Meatball, check your insulin and blood sugar. I will. I will when I get a chance. I got some checkups I got to do. I got to go to the dentist too. I ain't been to the dentist in like 15 years because they're a bunch of bastards, just like doctors and mechanics. They don't know how to fix you and they still charge you money. And I can't stand it. I don't know. I feel like if they don't fix you, they shouldn't be able to charge you money. Last time I went to a dentist, they were supposed to pull a tooth, and instead they built it back up. And later that day, I broke that tooth and the tooth above it because they built it up too high. I went back the next day. They were like, that's another $350. And we need to crown your top tooth. That's $1,800. And you got to pay up front. And I was like, guess what? I'm leaving. And I never went back. It was like 15 years ago. I need to go. I need to go to the doctor. There's all kinds of stuff I got to do. Lisa, I grew up with my grandparents. I picked up on their habits of moaning and groaning when I was about 7. Yeah. What's up, Booty Duty? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Shark? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Jim? What's up, Judy? Judy, my mom used to tell me the snow story and she lived in Hollywood. That's hilarious. Jim, gotta get that thyroid checked? Yeah, that's what I was kind of worried about. I don't think my family has thyroid issues, but I don't really know. Russell, my mom's 78. Gotta take care of her. Snooks, I say keep on dancing. That's right. All right, Hooligans. Like I said, we're going to get into this next one. This is Whistleblower for Meta. It's titled Meta Executives Lie About What They Were Doing with the Chinese Communist Party. Not really surprising if you've been on Facebook. You could totally believe that they'd be involved in some CCP shenanigans. Now we have Josh Hawley here doing the interview. I like Josh Hawley. I don't know if Congress actually gets anything done ever, but he plays a good character on TV, and there's at least that. Either way, let's go ahead and get into this, but make sure you hit that like button over on Rumble or the CommuTube.
Leaders across the globe. She heard their plans for China. She's no ordinary whistleblower, and she comes to tell us not merely about what has happened, but also what is coming. Now, it is our practice, Ms. Wynne-Williams, and the Judiciary Committee and its subcommittees to swear in our witnesses before they testify. So if you would, let me invite you to rise, raise your right hand, and we'll get started. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you very much. We'd love to hear your opening statement. Take as long as you need.
Chairman Hawley, Ranking Member Durbin, and distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Sarah Wynne-Williams, and I served as the Director of Global Public Policy at Facebook, now Meta, for nearly 7 years, starting in 2011. Throughout those 7 years, I saw Meta executives repeatedly undermine U.S. national security and betray American values. They did these things in secret to win favor with Beijing and build an $18 billion business in China. We are engaged in a high-stakes AI arms race against China. And during my time at Meta, company executives lied about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party to employees, shareholders, Congress, and the American public. I sit before this committee today to set the record straight about these illegal and dangerous activities. Meta's dishonesty started with the betrayal of core American values. Mark Zuckerberg pledged himself a free speech champion. Yet I witnessed Meta work hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party to construct and test custom-built censorship tools that silenced and censored their critics. When Beijing demanded that Facebook delete the account of a prominent Chinese dissident living on American soil, they did it, and then lied to Congress when asked about the incident in a Senate hearing. The willingness to censor was not the only troubling thing I witnessed. I watched as executives decided to provide the Chinese Communist Party with access to Meta user data, including that of Americans. Meta does not dispute these facts. They can't. I have the documents. As recently as this Monday, they claim that they do not operate their services in China. Another lie. In fact, they began offering products and services in China as early as 2014. That hasn't stopped. Their own SEC filings from last year show that China is now Meta's second biggest market. Meanwhile, Meta's AI model, Llama, has contributed significantly to Chinese advances in AI technologies like DeepSeek. Facebook's secret mission to get into China was called Project Aldrin and was restricted to need-to-know staff. There was no bridge too far. Meta built a physical pipeline connecting the United States and China. Meta executives ignored warnings that this would provide backdoor access to the Chinese Communist Party, allowing them to intercept the personal data and private messages of American citizens. The only reason China does not currently have access to US user data through this pipeline is because Congress stepped in. Meta started briefing the Chinese Communist Party as early as 2015. These briefings focused on critical emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence. The explicit goal being to help China outcompete American companies. There's a straight line you can draw from these briefings to the recent revelations that China is developing AI models for military use, relying on Meta's Llama model. Meta's internal documents describe their sales pitch for why China should allow them into the market by, quote, helping China increase global influence and promote the China dream. The truth about what has gone on in China matters. I filed a shareholder resolution asking Meta's board to investigate its activity in China, and I filed whistleblower complaints with the SEC and the DOJ. The measure of how important these truths are is directly proportionate to the ferocity of Meta's efforts to censor and intimidate me. I relied on their commitment given in 2018 that they would waive their rights to pursue forced arbitration. Despite that public commitment, they've brought a case against me for hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, they have a legal gag order that silences me, even as Meta and their proxies spread lies about me. This order is so expansive that it prohibits me from speaking with members of Congress. The gag order was sought by a company whose CEO claims to be a champion of free speech. The American people deserve to know the truth. Meta has been willing to compromise its values, sacrifice the security of its users, and undermine American interests to build its China business. It's been happening for years, covered up by lies, and continues to this day. I am here at considerable personal risk because you have the power and the authority to hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wynne-Williams. We're going to have 8-minute rounds of questions.
All right. Meta having ties to the Chinese Communist Party. It's not really new, though. When I first figured out who Josh Hawley was, we were covering a live, and I've brought this up a lot. They brought in, I think it was YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, back when Jack Dorsey or whatever his name is owned Twitter, and they brought them in and questioned them about invasion of privacy of Americans, because they will collect your data when you create an account, and then they'll collect more data. They'll put these tracker bots on you, and so when you log in, so if you get a new phone, you log into your Facebook account, they put these trackers on you, but they share that data with other social media platforms for whatever reasons they can try and justify. Now, Josh Hawley had asked those people if they were doing that, and they said no. But then he pulled up data that he had got on them saying, yeah, you actually do, and that you're committing crimes against Americans, infringing on their right to privacy, and that they were sharing this information illegally with each other. Then they didn't do anything about it. And now here we are, like 4 years later, 3-4 years later, and now this woman is telling this Josh Hawley that, oh yeah, they comply with CCP and they break laws and do all kinds of stuff all the time. And I mean, it sounds like real whistleblowing, like maybe something's going to happen, but I don't know, because they keep admitting to committing crimes. I mean, all these people do, just like the sanctuary city mayors and governors and stuff. They all admit to doing these crimes. Everybody acknowledges that they're breaking laws and federal laws and infringing on Americans' rights. And they go, yeah, that's terrible. And then they do nothing about it. And so we'll see if something actually comes from this. It's hard to say, because I'm pretty sure Zuckerberg had promised Trump a bunch of money and stuff like that. We were just discussing a couple days ago about Apple giving a bunch of money to America and all of that. I think President Trump was saying in one of those videos that we had just covered with President Trump speaking from the Oval Office. But we were saying, well, if Bill Gates is on the Epstein list and they know everybody that was on the Epstein list, why would they be accepting money from somebody that's a criminal like that? And so, I don't know, this kind of feels the same. It's like, okay, so Zuckerberg's being called out for illegal behavior to Josh Hawley when Josh Hawley himself had already called out Zuckerberg for illegal behavior and decisions and stuff like that. So I don't know if anything's going to actually happen, but at least we got some more confirmation that Facebook does act like commies. They like commies. I haven't been on Facebook in so long. I got a page over there. I just tell people when I go live, but I don't post. I don't hang out on Facebook or anything like that. Either way, next up we got Alina Habba. It's titled "Alina Habba Announces Investigation into Democratic Governor," saying this is a warning. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Facebook doing favors for the CCP. Mac Daddy, so she'll be dead soon? Sounds like it. Russell, we will eventually have to go to war with China. I've been saying this for years. Isn't their economy not doing well? Or maybe that's a different country. I want to say China's economy is not doing well. Zero, yeah, I'll add it onto the wish list if you want. I'll read it right after the chat. Or after the live. Thank you, Zero. Snugs, I'm so happy that Klaus didn't become inedible. Nope. He's last choice. As long as there's food in the house and toilet paper, he's safe. Russell, I don't post that much on Facebook. I don't either. I got suspended for a post that was like 2 years old. It was some Fauci post. It was joking about washing your hands or something. And they were like, you posted this 2 years ago, so we're going to suspend you for 90 days today. And I'm like, oh, okay. Mag Daddy, meanwhile, the government has been worried about TikTok when this whole time it's been Facebook. Yeah, and I was trying to tell people that when they were raising the mass hysteria over TikTok. Oh, TikTok's so bad and this, that, and the other. It was bad until it was time to campaign for the election. And Hyena Harris had 2 pages that were promoting her on TikTok. Trump had his page promoting on TikTok. I think Biden had one before he dropped out of the race. So TikTok's big and scary and bad because of China until it's time to run ads for an election. Same thing like I was saying when the border was open. They don't care about Chinese spy balloons in the sky over military bases. They don't care about China coming across the border and hanging out in our front yard. But yeah, you better not have TikTok because China's scary. It's stupid how they try to spin it, because this whole time Facebook sells all of our data to China. So the only difference between TikTok and Facebook is Facebook profits off of that over that information being handed over to China. So it's goofy the way the government talks to us. Done. I haven't used Facebook in over 18 years, or almost 18 years. Got tired of it quick. Yeah. I was not a big fan when everybody left MySpace to go to Facebook. I did not understand. I still think it's a psyop. I have no idea why anybody left MySpace to go to Facebook. On MySpace, you could customize everything, the entire page. It was the closest thing to being like a website developer that anybody could do without any kind of I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, formal training. And then everybody left that to go to Facebook, where everybody's page looks identical. I have no idea how that happened. I think it was a psyop. I think they put propaganda in people's faces and was like, yeah, Facebook's better. And everyone was like, oh, okay. And I don't know why. I think MySpace was better than Facebook. But yeah, Facebook is so censored now. I don't use anything made by Meta. I don't go, well, Instagram was called out for allowing hashtags that connected pedophiles together so they could meet each other and share inappropriate child content. And then they did nothing about it. They just said, nuh-uh, we're not doing that, nuh-uh. And these claims came out, and there was a lot of information showing what the hashtags are, the content connected to the hashtags, the people who follow those hashtags. And it seems like Instagram is some pedophile playground. And so I don't go to Instagram because of that. And then Facebook censors you over every little stupid thing. So, I mean, even X is like that. You know, Elon talks about free speech and all that, but you go to X and you say the wrong thing, you're getting suspended. You're getting your account taken away or whatever. So, I don't know. Kung Fu, I hate social media. This is my social media. Yeah. Yeah, I like hanging out in the chat. It's rough being on regular social media. Happy freedom to you, Dutton. Rappy. My mom and I both have underactive thyroids and take medicine for it. Yeah. I have like large glands in my throat. My doctors have always said that. The whole time I've been alive, anytime I've gone to the doctor, they're always pressing on my throat, saying my glands are larger than they should be. But anytime I've had my thyroid tested, they always said it was perfect. Sir, I think I still have my MySpace page. Yeah, I have mine. There's nothing on it. It's there though. I use it just to establish how long I've been Jeff Mack. It's like 2006 or something like that. What's up, Astro Hammer? Happy freedom to you. Snooks, that's because you're too effing macho. I'm not macho. I'm just a little sissy. What are you talking about? Astro Hammer, you know you're hangry if you have to eat your last resort for TP. Poor Klaus. I know. His retirement doesn't look good. He's either kitty tacos or toilet paper or both. Depending on which order this goes, we'll see. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Done. I have the opposite. I've gone in with strep throat and they couldn't see anything. Yeah, Dudden. I don't know. Doctors drive me crazy. They love to rack up bills. I know that. Meta, nobody does shit. They confessed guilty. Do something about it. Absolutely, Meta. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why people go before Congress. They admit to breaking federal laws and stuff like that, and then they just get to go home and break more laws. I have no idea. Viola, Facebook was originally for people with EDU email addresses. Yeah. Yeah, Viola, it used to be for students. Until it got repurposed. Lisa, whatever happened to the mysterious lights? The drones, etc.? Yeah, the orbs. Yeah, they don't want to talk about that anymore. It's just not in the news now. Teasel, I got kicked off Truth real quick and Twitter. Yeah. I haven't heard, you're the first person I've heard to be like suspended or punished on Truth, but I figured Truth Social wasn't going to be a totally free speech platform. Prop Patriot Girly, I tried to get on Facebook again and was banned immediately. I clicked go and was banned, couldn't even set up my page. Yeah, Prop Patriot Girly, I don't know why they're like that. I just don't. Wayward, my coworker paid over $20,000 for a kidney stone. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I didn't know what was wrong with my stomach. I still don't know what was wrong with my stomach. I originally had a pain in my throat, and I thought I had cancer. It felt like I had a mass in my throat or something like that. And I went to the doctor. I was near 23 years old, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I went to see a specialist, and then I went to see another specialist, and then I went to see another specialist. And I went to an ENT, an ear, nose, throat doctor, and he was like, oh, you got acid reflux. And I was like, I do? What's that got to do with my throat? And he was like, when you lay down, it's going up in your throat and burning holes in your throat. So you got to do these things. I was like, okay. So I did that. But then I started having other problems. I was like throwing up blood and all this other stuff. And so there I am going back to the doctor and stuff. And they don't know. Let's try this test. Let's try that test. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do ultrasounds. Let's do x-rays. Let's, just so on and so forth. We got done. They were like, you owe us $16,000. And I was like, well, that's a cool story. What'd you find out? They were like, we didn't find out anything, but we can keep running tests if you want. And I was like, no. And I'm not paying that shit. And I didn't, and enough time passed, and it's not there on my record anymore, because that's how hospital bills work. It's nonsense. It is nonsense. And I mean, I went for months, and they never found out what was wrong with my stomach. They think that there's like 3 or 4 things wrong, and all together it's making it so hard to identify what these problems are, because I have so many symptoms in every direction. So I don't know. I can't stand doctors at all. I just can't. They shouldn't be able to charge you unless they actually fix you. I just don't get it. If you paid a plumber and he showed up and broke your sink and left, you're probably not going to pay him. He didn't fix anything. He showed up and destroyed your shit. But doctors, mechanics, dentists, they show up, they charge you too much money, they break your shit, or they never figure out what's wrong with you, and then you still got to pay this outrageous bill, and you still have the problem that existed prior to meeting these people. And it's like, I don't know. I think we need change. We need some change. We need some reform here. Either way, we're going to get into this next video. Like I said, Alina Habba announces investigation into Democratic governor, saying this is a warning. All right. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, that you should go check out the only Hooligan shop for cool custom hooligan items. Now, this shop and everything in it was created by Alistair, and this is our attempt to get away from third-party systems. That way we can have control over pricing, quality, and shipping times. I'm sure we'll be adding to the shop fairly soon, but definitely go check it out, because anything you get from the shop contributes to me, Alistair, and keeping the live running. So definitely go check out the only Hooligan shop. Like I said, we got Alina Habba. This is titled Alina Habba Announces Investigation into Democratic Governor. Hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into this.
Now, the U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Habba, is here with more. Is that true? Do you have proof of that? Have you heard that to be true?
Let me give you a very brief summary of what we do know. We know that the governor has on his website currently do's and don'ts for his local state of law enforcement. Those do's and don'ts instruct them not to cooperate with illegal immigrants who have administrative warrants that have been issued by the court after due process, saying that they are no longer welcome here. They have gone through the court system. They are to be deported. It is instructing them to go against our federal rules, our executive orders. And I am unfortunately going to announce on your show tonight, Sean, and I want it to be a warning for everybody, that I have instructed my office today to open an investigation into Governor Murphy, to open an investigation into Attorney General Platkin, who has also instructed the state police not to assist any of our federal, and they list our federal agencies that are under my direction, the FBI, the DEA, all these individuals that are trying to clean up our streets in New Jersey, not to cooperate. That will no longer stand. Pam Bondi has made it clear, and so has our president, that we are to take all violent criminals and criminals out of this country and to completely enforce federal law. And anybody who does get in that way, in the way of what we are doing, which is not political, it is simply against crime, will be charged in the state of New Jersey for obstruction, for concealment, and I will come after them hard. Those investigations will start immediately. The governor and the attorney general.
Let me ask you, Alina, because this is a really important question, because I have felt all during the Biden years, we had wide open borders, known terrorists, murderers, rapists, cartel members, gang members. We see all these Americans murdered, raped, victims of violent crime. And in my view, both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and I'll add Mayorkas to the list, they have blood on their hands. How is it not aiding and abetting in law breaking if you're a sanctuary city or state, or if you are ordering your law enforcement not to cooperate with federal agents when the Supremacy Clause gives the clout to the federal government over local officials anyway?
That's correct. And let me tell you, to my state officers in New Jersey, some of whom I met with today, I appreciate and respect what you can and cannot do. They don't have Title VIII authority. I understand that. But what they have been instructed to do by the AG and the governor, as is on their website, is to actually not even make the phone call to ICE when they run their record and see that there is a valid warrant, an administrative warrant ordering deportation. That is putting the people in my state in jeopardy, in a serious predicament, and our, frankly, state officers are now being held with their hands behind their back because they have people using politics over crime and the safety of the American people. Sean, you know how serious I am about law and order. I have been on the other side of it. I will literally just protect our people. That is what this is about, American safety. And if anybody wants to use politics or their position to go and violate any federal law or any executive order in this state, and that includes sanctuary cities, and I'm looking at you, Paterson, New Jersey, I will be investigating you. And if you did commit a crime, if you ordered obstruction, if you are ordering concealment and harboring, you will be charged.
Well, I'm going to give a nice little warning to the AG and the governor. If you want to go against Alina Habba, good luck. Because she has a lot of Trump in her, and you're messing with the wrong person here. Alina, thank you. We appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to...
What do you mean when he said she had a lot of Trump in her? Holy, calm down, buddy. All right. Well, Alina Habba kind of sounding like Pam Bondi and Tom Homan. If you're going to resist cooperating with ICE and you're going to continue to aid and abet illegals, you will be prosecuted. We have yet to see any of these people be prosecuted for anything. Like I mentioned earlier, we had 4 of the sanctuary city mayors go testify before Congress. They all admitted to breaking federal crimes. Anna Paulina Luna said that she was going to take their information to the DOJ and have them investigated for breaking federal laws and all of that. And then nothing happened. Nobody did anything. Tom Homan's been saying before Inauguration Day that if the sanctuary cities continue, not even just that, but anybody, any elected official is trying to aid the evading of ICE, or you're protecting these illegals from ICE, like hiding them or relocating them, that you would be prosecuted. Not one elected official has been prosecuted for helping illegals. And we've been watching this happen like every day. Every day there's a story in the news about how illegals are being protected or, stuck up for. They're being placed somewhere. Somebody's paying for them to live somewhere. whatever the case may be. Or like AOC, right? She was teaching them to evade ICE. We covered churches teaching illegals to evade ICE. We covered schools doing the same thing. There's activists doing it. There was activists handing out information to illegals, teaching them how to evade ICE, how to pretend to be a citizen and act like they have the same rights that we do, and basically refuse to cooperate with ICE and all this stuff, and then even go on TV and do interviews and say, oh yeah, I'm out here teaching illegals to evade ICE. Well, then how come nobody's being arrested for this shit? These are crimes. These are crimes. And it's like from the dirty 20-year-old activist all the way up to the people on Capitol Hill are doing this, and nobody's being arrested for it. So it kind of sucks to see Alina Habba singing the same song when we have yet to see any accountability go to these people. So maybe Alina Habba means it. Maybe something will actually happen, but it just sucks to hear it from Pam Bondi, and then you hear it from Tom Homan, and then we're just covering stories nonstop about how everyone's calling their bluff, and they're not doing anything about it. They're just continuing to let this happen. It just sounds good on TV. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see some change. Either way, next up we got the last little bit of the news. It's Lefties losing it. This one's titled Stolen Valor. Tim Walz booed by veterans. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Alina Habba. Ooh, I got hiccups. Alina Habba. Here, user, walk the walk or shut up. Yeah, exactly. Zero phrasing. Yeah, she's got a lot of Trump in her. Okay. Alistair, he should really rephrase that. I wonder if he thought about it after he said it. Astro Hammer, we went to sign our teenage daughter up for a job shadow at Michigan State University, and the online application had a required field asking what your pronoun is. Yeah, that's so stupid, Astro Hammer, especially after President Trump made it. He did the EO saying there's only boys and girls. There is no 32 flavors of gay and all that stuff. Whether or not you're gay doesn't change whether you're a boy or not. So it's dumb that they require pronouns and all that crap. Anytime I'm asked that stuff, I don't fill it out, but usually the forms I have to fill out, it's not a requirement. Michigan, I don't know. Yeah, I hear you, Astro Hammer. Metalmouth, I don't give a fuck what state you live in. Aiding and abetting is a felony. Yep. And I don't know why, they're not doing anything about it. They're just letting it happen. Metalmouth, my pronouns are fuck off. Yep, you're getting denied on the application, though. That's the thing. What's up, Frank? Happy freedom? Treason. That's right. It is treason. They're aiding the invasion that happened over the last 4 years. Yeah, well, and I also wonder if these states were talking about doing bounties where you could call in on illegal, and if it equaled an arrest, you would get some financial compensation for calling in on illegals and stuff. There's a couple states that have offered that we covered. I don't know if that stuff ever went into effect. They were just talking about the possibility of it happening. But that's a real quick way to get all the illegals out of here. Now, maybe the system would be abused. Anybody would just call the hotline on everybody, and it probably already happens because there already is an ICE hotline number. But it's a pretty good incentive to get 25 million illegals out of here. What's up, Contempt? Happy freedom to you. Lisa, Trump's got enough to go around, I guess. She's full of Trump. I didn't realize. Lisa, send them back with the illegals? I'm saying. Contempt the U.S. people have been stolen from? Yeah. What's up, Jay Blazer? Happy freedom to you. What's up, ACB? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Ingrid? Happy freedom. Ingrid, no more talking points. Act with existing immigration laws. Let's see. Title 8, 1324 prohibits harboring unauthorized aliens, encouraging or inducing unauthorized... Is that what it is? Yeah. Inducing unauthorized aliens into the U.S. Indict them. Absolutely. Hold these people accountable. What's up, Dirtbag Freedom? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Mana? Happy freedom. Booty Duty. I'm still waiting on the hooligan tokens like poker chips or pogs or something, not Hawk2 coin. I was going to, well, like I said, I was going to make crypto hooligan tokens, but hooligans don't really seem that interested in crypto. We are going to have something like that over on the website pretty soon. I wanted to roll it out in January, but my life has been so damn busy I haven't been able to do it. But we're going to have hooligan chips over there. It's not necessarily going to be like currency. We'll see, though. We'll see how it goes. What's up, Musky Boss? Happy freedom. Musky Boss, I seen the quartering was looking to raid Jeff yesterday. What does that mean? Klaus isn't illegal. He almost voted in the election. He was going to vote for Trump. Zero, my pronouns on LinkedIn is by gold and silver. That's awesome. Astrohammer, we didn't finish the application. Yeah. Snooks, I want to see the chip clip competition with you men. Yeah, we'll see. We gotta write the rules down. All right, hooligans, let's get into this last little bit of the news before we get into the fun stuff. Like I said, this is Lefties Losing It. It's titled Stolen Valor, Tim Walz Booed by Veterans.
It's time.
All right, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the GoofTube, and let's get into this.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and we've avoided them all week, but alas, I can no longer ignore the weapon-grade lunacy of The View. The ladies have had another bad week. Well, there are no good weeks on The View, just differing levels of misery and madness. Let's hear from Joy Behar, who thinks Donald Trump is trying to destroy the country or he is trying to enrich his mates.
He's trying to destroy the country. Now, why is he doing that? Just as a person in the audience, like watching this. Yeah. So there's a couple of theories.
Yes. And
first of all, if he tanks the entire, what do you call it?
Economy,
the stock market, then all his billionaire friends can swoop in and buy everything low. That's not an original idea. That's Hakeem Jeffries said that.
Genius analysis there, Joy. You really are a rare intellect. I mean, the people who lost the most money when the stock market dived were the elite, the richest. But let's hear more of this cunning examination.
Today on Truth Social, Trump wrote, a great time to buy.
Yes, he did. And you were free to follow that sage advice, Joy. Plenty of folks did. Plenty of folks didn't panic and held on to their investments. And yes, the markets had a bumper day. The SP 500 soared 9.5%, its biggest gain since 2008, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped up 7.9%. How does that go with your analysis of Trump wanting to destroy America? Or this next bit of lunatic supposition?
People are starting to get mad.
Well, that's good. Yeah. You want them to get mad.
But how mad will people get? And how broke will people get? And how many jobs will be lost? And then he can say, well, there's too much chaos and now we're going to have martial law in this country, and he becomes a dictator. I mean, I don't know. That may be out of the bounds.
Anything is possible.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
So somebody watching the news, that's what I see.
You know, if you've got good friends around you, they are honest with you when you go off the rails. They don't feed your paranoid delusions. It's clear that Whoopi Goldberg is not a good friend to Joy because she encouraged that latest bout of crazy. She believes Donald Trump wants to crash the market so people go nuts and then he can institute martial law. Okay, I'll tell you who else has had a rough week. It's the worst vice presidential candidate in history, Tim Walz, aka Tampon Walz, Tampon Tim, a name he earned for putting tampons in boys' restrooms in schools across his state. Well, here he is in the Minnesota capital being booed by veterans, and for good reason, because Tampon Tim's other nickname is Stolen Valor Walz.
Welcome to the Capitol. It's great that you're sir, you're welcome to come. Let me finish. Let me finish. Hey, there's some passion in the bill.
Did you hear the shouts of coward there? Let's hear from Tim in front of a far friendlier crowd here. He claims that we should celebrate success, but then he says we should demonize Elon Musk.
I think Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions, but I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. What we should demonize is people like Elon Musk and those people that do that, and that's different.
Yep, try to make sense of that. You know what? Tampon Tim is going to be extra depressed today because Tesla shares are soaring. Despite the unhinged violent attacks we've seen, attacks that Democrats refuse to condemn, here is Chuck Schumer.
What's your opinion of the violence against Tesla, their products? What are your thoughts on that? Do you denounce the violence against Tesla products and dealerships and cars in the streets?
I can't talk about Tesla, but Elon Musk is a disaster for America, and America knows it. Look at Wisconsin.
What? Now, proving that misery loves company, let's check in with the hideous propagandist, George Conway. Remember when he was feeling joyful and gleeful? He was emboldened, defaming Donald Trump, believing that these sham trials were going to make Donald Trump unelectable?
He's a deeply disturbed, a deeply morally bereft human being who has no conscience, has no morality, has no empathy, has no remorse, and is sadistic.
Oh, those were the days for George, but those heady, delusional days are well and truly over. Watch this 30-second compilation of George crying like a little girl. You're welcome.
I'm going to get moist-eyed here, him. Or whatever it is that these people seem to be. And I went so far, actually, yesterday to Arnold and Porter. That also was very moving because something people want, and I wanted, and us. We're all in this together, rule of law. And some people just don't give a and that makes me angry. Granddaughters of Judge Rifkin
And to another miserable aging dolt, here is techno dude Moby, who seems to think billionaire Donald Trump is really, really bad at business. He also seems to think that Trump supporters have regrets. Who's going to break it to him?
So, for the people who voted for Trump or have supported Trump, can you finally just admit you were wrong? Trump has spent his entire life bankrupting businesses, and now, surprise, surprise, he's bankrupting the United States. So look, we can move on, but if you supported Trump or voted for him, just please, finally, now, just admit you were wrong.
Now let's end with more weapon-grade crazy from a host view. Sunny Hostin shows she can be just as irrational and race-obsessed away from the View desk as she is on it. Here she argues that many blacks and women will not be able to participate in the democratic process if we have voter ID laws.
Don't have cars, don't have driver's licenses. So it's sort of a vestige of, I think, post-slavery laws where they where black people had to prove their right to vote. And oftentimes they couldn't vote because they couldn't pass some crazy test or they didn't have the appropriate ID. It also affects women that are married. Maybe your passport reflects something that's different on your birth certificate or on your driver's license. So really the bottom line is voter suppression. And I agree with him 100%. It's a brilliant notion that less voter ID laws allows more people to vote.
Only problem, Sonny, is that we don't want more people who are not eligible to vote. And how bigoted of you to suggest that black folk and women don't have IDs. That's what they mean by the bigotry of low expectations.
All right, that's Lefties losing it there, talking about horse drinker getting booed by veterans. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, like I said, that is the last little bit of the news. We're going to get into the fun stuff here. We'll be opening today's door from the Advent calendar that was sent to us by Wad. And then we will be opening these packages we got here. I'm not sure who sent me this stuff. We'll figure it out. Then we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled, I Like Your MAGA Hat. And our official funny video of the day is titled, Can't Take Us Hooligans Anywhere. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Lefties losing it. It's Josh. Chug, chug, chug. No, I can't today. I actually was not feeling good when I woke up today. My stomach is super upset. Russell, I'm tired of stupid people. Yeah. Zero. Time to take the warning labels off of everything. It'd fix it. We need some natural selection going on. Snooks, oh my god, retire the race deck. Yeah. They're going to hold on to that racism phrase as much as they can. If you do anything they don't like, you're a racist. Or a phobe of some sort. Josh 1776, why do soft people think we give a shit what they say? Because they're stuck in echo chambers of people constantly crying all over each other. So they think when they go outside, they can just walk up to strangers and go, please care about my problems. No, nobody cares. It's just the way it is. Problems are like assholes. We all got them. My feed, exactly. Jail time. Yep. Something. We need accountability so bad. We need somebody to do the thing. Cricket Kiss. Yeah, by the way, where were you yesterday? Happy freedom to you, Cricket Kiss. I had stuff I had to do that I just couldn't get out of. Had to do it. Kind of like taxes today. Had to do it. Had to be an adult. Didn't want to be, but had to. Klaus wasn't going to do it. Enter user, what the hell was that squat? I didn't see it. I must have missed it. You talking about horse drinker? He moves like a clown. I don't know why. Oh, Tim Wall's there. He's very clown-like. Meta, Epstein files, they haven't been charged. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I think when they say, oh, it's the most transparent administration in history. You hear Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and stuff always saying that, which is great, except for they aren't doing anything about the Epstein files. Jay Blazer, did you try those other Advent samples? Yeah. There's a couple, there's like 6 of them that I've tried so far, but I got like 20 of them sitting here. I will eventually. It's just the busy time of the year for me. I'm starting to get through it, though. Paying taxes is usually the end of the busy time, and we start getting ready for summer fun shenanigans and all of that. And I'll be sampling these, what are they called? Drums. These little drums shortly. I mean, this one's about half gone. This is the one I think I did 2 days ago. I don't know. Life's hard. I'll be sampling them, don't you worry. What's up, Ron? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Persian? What's up, Blade? Weapon grade stupid. You're not wrong. Vinny C. Tim Walz being booed in Deep Blue, Minnesota. He's a jackass. Absolutely. Josh 1776. Jeff could live stream learning to golf this summer. I am straight dog shit at golf. I don't know why. I'm terrible at white sports. Tennis, bowling, golf. I'm just ass at it. Just straight buns. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. I'm terrible at it. Now, I like golfing, but I'm doing triple terrible by the time I get done. 9 holes or 18 holes, it doesn't matter, but there's something fun about drinking beer and driving golf carts. Even going to find your ball in the woods and coming out with 16, 17. You knock one in there, you come out with a whole bag full. I almost always leave the golf course with more golf balls than I showed up with. It's always less beer, though. You know, that's how it goes. But, yeah. Russell, define village idiot, Thoughtbot says. A person widely known in their community for their stupidity or ignorant behavior. It should have just said Tim Walz. Russell, the problem with golf is I get too drunk. I'm like that with disc golf. I play disc golf quite a bit. I mean, I used to. I guess I haven't in last year or so. But yeah, I drink too much when I play disc golf. I've had to learn to like not put a 6-pack in my golf bag because I will just put the whole thing down too quickly. I'm on hole 6 and I'm like trying to do the thing and I can't. I'm like, someone hold me up so I can do this. Let's do the thing. What really pisses me off is I introduced my buddy to disc golf and he just surpassed me in skill like immediately. Within 6 months, he was like at a professional level and we went to play a professional tournament. The TV crew was there and all kinds of stuff. I was dead last for the tournament and it wasn't even like kind of sort of. It was by a lot. I was like, there was a huge gap between where I was and the person second from last. I did terrible. Like the whole team looked at me. They were reading our name. There was probably 300 people there and they read the name at the bottom and they were like, you got last, blah, blah, with this many strokes or this many throws or whatever they call it. And literally everybody just turned and looked at me and I was just like, here I am unqualified for this shit, but it was all right. It was all right. Hair Juicer, got to replace my whole disc golf collection. Went missing when my car got stolen. That's bullshit, Hair Juicer. I'll have to send you some discs because I got way more than I need. I pick them up all the time and I try to call the number and stuff because, you know, a lot of people write the number on the back and they either don't answer it, they don't want it back or whatever. I got a shit ton of them. I got some pretty good discs that I don't even use. So I'll write you, Hair Juicer, and see if I can figure out how to send you some. Because I got a lot. The whole back of the Subaru's full. Zero, yeah, but you tried. Yeah, I did. It didn't hurt my feelings that I lost the tournament. It was whatever. I think it hurt everybody else's feelings. Enter user, hundreds of golf balls in the lake. Yeah, the problem is I don't like being in the water. I don't like getting wet like that. I just don't. Alistair, you've never heard of disc golf? I think it's like a regional thing. It depends where you live because it is a big thing here. Our disc golf course that's nearby me is called Flip City, and it's one of the like highest ranking in the world. There's people who come from all over the world to play at Flip City, and I go there and get drunk and just throw the disc around while listening to music on a Bluetooth speaker like it ain't no big deal. Meanwhile, there's people from Australia pulling into the parking lot to come play. And what I like about disc golf, most of the time it's free. It don't cost anything. You just show up and play the, you know, do the thing. Now, they don't have ways to rent discs or anything around here. You got to go buy them, and sometimes they're like $25 a disc. But when I started, I only had one disc. I didn't have a putter or mid-range or anything like that. I just showed up with a driver and just played the whole game with the one disc. Definitely can do it, but then now you see the guy, little preppy dudes with their little collared shirts and their bag on wheels and all that shit. And I mean, you know, to each their own. But yeah, disc golf is quite a bit of fun. A lot of people smoke and drink and just walk around, listen to music, throwing discs. High Plains Drifter, skeet shooting. Yeah, that's a lot of fun too. Stoner found is it TD Beast driver? I'm trying to think. I think I have a Beast driver. Mine's lime green. The ones, I'm trying to think what I even run right now. Because my driver is something crazy. That it was given to me by the manufacturer. A buddy of mine does injection mold printing or whatever it's called. And he makes discs now. And he was trying to get in with one of these companies. I don't know if it was Discraft or who it was. One of these companies. He was trying to get in with them and stuff. And he would always show up to the course with a lot of people that were in manufacturing for these main discs. And they'd hook him up with new prints and have him go test them out because he's badass at disc golfing. And he'd call me up and be like, hey, come hang out. Because I'm only like 40 minutes away or something like that. Not that I have time to disc golf, but when I did, I'd come hang out and meet all these guys that make these discs that all of us throw. Alistair, I'm in Jackson, Florida. Florida. Never heard of it. Yeah. Well, I think it's just kind of a popular thing here because there ain't nothing to do. It's just woods all over the place. Brian, thumb wrestling? Yeah, but I cheat though. I got little toe thumbs, so I gotta cheat. Just got to. And I got these white ass fingers. I don't know why God did me like that, but he did. Snooks, you can't throw a disc? Practice makes perfect. Hair Juicer, we're the disc golf capital of the world. Illinois is? Really? Astro Hammer, I lost a disc in the water. I don't play those holes. If there's like a giant lake between the launch pad and where the basket is, I'll just skip to the next hole. I'm not throwing my $25 disc into the lake or a pond or anything like that. Russell, a participation trophy? Nah, I didn't get no participation trophy in the tournament. The tournament was cool though because if you got like first place, you got like 6 ounces of weed, and second place got weed infused Captain Crunch, and they were sharing it with everybody, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. Some people won baskets to disc golf at their house, like practice putting and stuff. Yeah. Hair Juicer Quad Cities. I'll have to look it up because I didn't know. I wasn't sure where the top dogs of disc golfing were. I just know that Flip City is pretty popular. Zero, oh wow, we could make a course on our property. That'd be fun. Yeah. The only thing is you got to worry about liability insurance. Because if people, fall over a tree branch and break their neck or something, then you're liable for it. I've always wondered why disc golf courses are free. Because if I had enough property, I would commercialize the shit out of it. We'd sell snacks and hot food and gear, and it cost you $5-10 to play or whatever. And you generate so much income off of that. But a lot of these here are free. You just show up. There's nobody there. You just play. Just do whatever. Hair Juicer, me and Midwest Jeff made a course hidden in the cornfield. That's cool. I've seen some of your videos with Midwest Jeff. Hair Juicer. I actually typed his name in to find him and found you guys playing disc golf together. Zero, I don't know. Oh, yeah, waivers. Yeah. Well, like I'm saying, a lot of times when you go disc golfing, at least here, there's nobody there. There's nothing. It's just the course. There's no employees or anything. Snooks, I'm a loser. I can't do cartwheels either. There's no cartwheel requirements around here. I know everybody's all mad because it's kind of entertaining to see people with boobs doing cartwheels, but it's not a requirement. Don't you worry. Actually, I hit a hole-in-one last time I played disc golf. Now I'm thinking about it. I got my first hole-in-one out in Whitehall. I forgot about that. Good times. Hey, thank you for being here, Screaming Eagle. Be safe out there. Meta, just dirty politicians. Arrest one. Start there. Get used to it. Try arresting more. Absolutely, Meta. Try. Try to do something about these corrupt politicians. That's all we're asking. Guess who? We need some Hawaiian shirts for the merch. I'll see what I can do. Guess who? Jeff dominates the senior division at his local pickleball court. No senior over 50 has beat him. I've never even played pickleball. I don't even know what that is. But, it could be. That could be the case. Teasel. So funny, I was gonna do an extreme mountain disc course in Irwin, Colorado. Mountain Ruby Basin Extreme. That sounds extreme. What's up, Danny? Happy Freedom. My cat loves watching your show. That's fantastic. I love that. Russell, chicks should always go bungee jumping topless. I think that's how you get those ape hangers, right? That's where they got to tuck them into their jeans. I don't know. Either way, moving forward here. Like I said, we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to open today's door from the Advent calendar that was sent to us by Wad. And then we will be opening these packages here that I received in the mail. Then we're getting into our 2 funny videos of the day. But before we do, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You could do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Like I said, opening today's door from the Advent calendar sent to us by Wad. Let me see. 2 doors left. We're getting down to it. 2 doors. Dicks in. Anyways, day 23 here. Technically, yesterday would have been day 23, but, you know, responsibilities and whatnot. Life happens. What do we get today? We got, let's see here, Green Isle. This is the first one of these we got. Blended Scotch whiskey. Good stuff. I like that nice tan color. Might have to sample this during the voice chat. Thank you, Wad. I appreciate you. You get out of here, Klaus. You ain't 21 yet, you little butthead. Yes. Oh, you're only 3 years old. You're just a little baby. Anyways, now we're going to be opening these packages. I have no idea what's in them or who sent them to me, and I don't have the proper requirements to open it, so I'll make the best of it. Also, you know how I tell you guys that the mail sucks? This is what I mean. Like, this is how I got the package. So I don't know if they added or subtracted from the box, but we'll see. What'd you do? Why are you looking at me? You guilty. Let's see what we got here. Is there any more papers in here? Like, who sent this to me? You're not going to fit, but I'll give you the box anyway. You go ahead and try it. Here's some paper, too. That's for you, buddy. What do we got here? Oh, dang. This is from Enjoy Your Gift from Dawn from Giggling Spy. Awesome. Smell training kit, because a lot of you guys know I lost my smell and taste while I caught the plague Christmas week like 3 years ago. It's been 3 years since I've been able to smell or taste anything, and you hooligans suggested this smell training kit for loss of smell. I don't know much about it, but I added it to the wish list, and thank you so much, Giggling Spy, for getting it for me, so maybe we can see if we can get my nose working again. It's so awesome. Let's see what this is. Ooh. Let's see here. Here's a bag for Klaus. Here you go. We got, also from Giggling Spy, it says enjoy your gift. Got a new cable here. I believe this is for the mouse that Hair Juicer sent me. Let me open it up really quick so we can see, because the box ain't telling me what it is. Fight me every step of the way. China strikes back. Oh, it's the SATA cables. Awesome. Thank you so much, Giggling Spy. I really appreciate you. Awesome. Here, Klaus. Here's a little box for you. Most men like that. There you go. Let's go ahead and get into our funny videos of the day here. Let's get this first one pulled up. Come on now, do the thing. There we go. All right, hooligans. This first one's titled, I like your MAGA hat.
I like your MAGA hat. Yeah, Trump. Woo!
It says gay.
Oh, I know.
Just checking.
Trump fan.
Never know.
Trump?
No. It says make America gay again.
Great. Again.
Gay.
I know, but we love Trump, right?
You're fucking.
I like your MAGA.
I love that video. It's so good. Let me see.
Make
America great again.
Love that. All right, let's get into our official funny video of the day. Come on, there we go. This is titled, "You Can't Take Us Hooligans Anywhere."
They had cows that produced human milk. 20 years ago, they had spiders that produced body armor, spider guts. Okay? They have human-animal hybrids 30 years ago. They've got giant human tissue farms.
And that's where you lose me.
Bullshit!
Seriously?
That's it right there. Every time I bring up a fucking subject, you know all about it!
Well, I don't know. I mean,
25 years ago that they had human-animal embryos, but they killed them at the embryonic level.
Man, you need to go back to the drawing board.
No. I believe it happened. Stop saying I said it didn't happen.
It's okay to talk about it and not be ashamed of it. It's okay. If you've got anxiety, you got PTSD, whatever, it's okay. Let's talk about it. Let's get help for it. Get it behind you and move.
They had cows that produced human.
Can't take us anywhere. Good stuff. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link really quick and drop it in all of the chats. We're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Who said that? High Plains Drifter, Fat Alex. I know. He's all buff now. He's still hilarious. I get that Alex Jones Eat Your Ass song stuck in my head all the time. I put it on my schedule so I can listen to it whenever it gets stuck in my head. I don't know why. It's so damn catchy, but it is. What the hell, hair juicer? I definitely can't show that on the live. All right, hooligans. There's the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, I would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we've got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums. You'll have access to the arcade. And you will also have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chat that gives you the ability to text each other, call each other, video call each other, group texting, group calling, group video calling, and more. jeffmaclive.com is the place to be and the home of the hooligans. So definitely go get yourself a membership. Also, we'll be doing the voice chat at some point today, probably, 8 o'clock or so, right after the live. So definitely go get yourself a membership so you can join us for the voice chat, because it is a lot of fun. Like I said, we're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Astro Hammer Cloud's trying to jump into that little box. That's because I raised him right. He didn't think he was a little girl kitty. Zero bungee jumping with topless. Some will get black eyes. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It could be dangerous. Hey, thank you for being here, Kung Fu. You be safe out there as well. What's up, Kilgore? Happy freedom to you. Kung Fu, she got triggered. She did. He's like, Trump. She's like, no. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You love Trump. Alistair, well, congratulations and happy anniversary to you guys. Thank you, Giggling Spy. I appreciate you. Alistair, the box is the best part. That's right. What's up, Sin? Happy freedom. You play disc golf? We have some badass mountain courses in my town. That's awesome. I don't know if there's mountains in Michigan. If there is, it's in the UP. I've never played on a mountain course before. It's probably awesome. I mean, unless you throw your disc the wrong way, and then it's probably a little less awesome. It's flying down a mountain. Hey, thank you for being here, Rappy. Be safe out there. Stone, you got a hole in one a couple times at the UW Parkside? It's awesome. I actually had a disc golf class when I went to UV Parkside. It counted as a PE credit. That is so badass. I don't think there's any classes or courses here to be able to learn to disc golf. Everybody here just watches YouTube. They're just like, you see this YouTube video on how to throw farther? And I'm like, no. I just try and I drink. That's all I do. I don't study for disc golf. I should, though, because I play like shit. I do. Alistair, oh, Jeff, you know you'll play with any holes. I don't know what to say back to that, Alistair. Just throwing that disc. Mm-hmm. Hey, thank you for being here, MU. Zero, Iron Mountain, Michigan. Does that count? Isn't that in the UP? Maybe it's not in the UP. Hair juicer, it's so popular here. Even the gym has baskets. That's so awesome. Hey, thank you for being here, Viola. Meta, pay money on the cat toys and they play with the bag. Yeah. Klaus, when I come home from Walmart, I take all the bags and I throw them on the floor, and he like smooths them out. He'll like pounce on them and then smooth them out, and he'll just do that till all the bags are flat on the ground. And so now it's his job. It's part of his chores. I just throw the bags. You know, I'm pulling everything out, putting it in the fridge, and I just throw the bag and grab the next one. And he pops his head up. I'm like, all right, come fold these bags. And he's like, straightening them all out. I'm like, that's right. Earn that fancy feast. Of course, then I got to go pick them up, but that's all right. What's up, We Grow? Happy freedom to you. Teasel, Alex is actually right sometimes. Yeah, he's entertaining all the time, though. What's up, Lenny? Happy freedom to you. Hey, thanks for being here, Vinny C. Josh 1776, no, not yet. I need to do it after the live. I got all busy. I was busy all day yesterday. I was busy all day today, but I will after the live. All right, hooligans, it is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, hooligans, we did the thing. We're going to read through one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind. But we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. It is Free Speech Saturday, so we will not be live on YouTube or Twitch. So if you watch on those platforms, please use the Linktree link in the description to make your way to a better platform tomorrow. We will be live on Kick, Rumble, jeffmaclive.com, as well as X. And like I said, on the Linktree at the very top, it lists all the places we go live. So like I said, it's Free Speech Saturday, no YouTube, no Twitch tomorrow. Either way, reading through them, we're wrapping her up. Hey, thank you for being here, Tony Rez. Hope you have a great weekend as well. What's up, Aco? Happy freedom. What's up, Master Voltaire? Happy freedom to you. Thanks for being here, Russell. Kung Fu quesadillas with some salsa? Sounds good. All right, hooligans. It looks like we're good to go. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. It's Free Speech Saturday. No YouTube, no Twitch. So keep that in mind. Definitely go enjoy the rest of your day. If I don't see you tomorrow for Free Speech Saturday, enjoy your weekend. Definitely go get some good food and stay safe out there. Those people out there, they're cutting their wieners off in their unhappy while doing it. Plus, you see people out here committing atrocities against the president and then not even being called out for it. I can't remember the last time we saw accountability. So definitely be safe out there. It doesn't seem like anyone's coming to save us. Either way, if I don't see you tomorrow, hopefully I see you coming back here Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern time for Coffee with Hooligans. Of course, I'll be looking at the White House, seeing if President Trump or Caroline Leavitt's going to be going live. But I encourage you, come hang out with us tomorrow for Free Speech Saturday. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.